2, check, check. 1, 2, check, check.
With just about 10 minutes remaining, and the following announcement. Serra High School is a private Catholic school that expects a high standard of behavior from our coaches, teachers, administrators, players, and fans. As per CIF CCS rules, noisemakers, horns, bells, victory bells, sirens, chimes, musical instruments other than the band will not be permitted inside the stadium here. For obvious reasons, all patrons should refrain from showing up to games intoxicated, disorderly, or under the influence of drugs. Fans should refrain from using vulgar language and making negative comments. Fans should always cooperate with security personnel, administrators, and/or law enforcement officials. Serra High School reserves the right to have any patron or fan removed from the stadium and campus at any time. San Mateo police and security personnel are present at all home football games. And we've been told if you have pre-ordered your Polynesian plate, you need to go pick it up now, please. We've got a lot of work ahead of them down there. They did a great job. There's like 800 pounds of food in each plate, which I finished all of it. So if you did pre-order your Polynesian food, this is your chance. Please go pick it up. Otherwise, they might give it to me. I will eat it. St. Francis fans, here's your Lancers. Or at least the captains, and here come the rest of them. And here comes the Varsity.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Brady Family Stadium on the site for a rivalry game renewed. It is going to be Serra alongside St. Francis here And it is a beautiful day as Evan Giddings alongside Stephen Shea join you here on Bay Area Sports TV. Well, Stephen, this is a matchup long-awaited, middle of the year, but massive implications in a congested WCL this season. Serra at 3-0, St. Francis at 2-1. We should have a good one for us here today.
Yeah, I mean, this is and Polynesian Day.
Yes.
So we got everything we need today. Perfect day for football. The kids are fired up. We've talked to both coaches. These two teams and two schools. This is a rivalry within the league, and so this is going to be a special day of football here.
Well, within the West Catholic Athletic League, sort of the stretch run, if you will, Serra 3-3 overall, but winners of their last three try to keep their league momentum rolling. A big win last week against Sacred Heart. Last time they were on this field, absolutely throttled St. Ignatius. It's been a very different Padres team, Stephen, than the one we saw the first three games out of league.
Right. I mean, I don't think anybody in the state of California had a tougher start to the season, and Coach Walsh is not bashful about putting his kids through a tough program here. I mean, they start off with Folsom, then they have De La Salle, and then they go down and play St. John Bosco, #1 team in the country. So I think we're going to go to the national anthem here, or maybe we're still at the coin flip. Sorry, so keep going, Evan. I apologize.
No worries, no worries. The Lancers, meanwhile, 2-4 overall this year. A similar defeat in a shutout loss, to De La Salle. Not a whole lot of similar opponents on the horizon yet for these teams, but St. Francis, their lone loss has come to right now many consider to be the league favorite in Archbishop Reardon.
Well, and if you watch that Reardon game, they played them really, really tough, and they scored a lot of points, and they were right there going in midway, almost the start of the fourth quarter. It was a touch and go game, and Reardon really got 2 touchdowns at the very end. But that game kind of opened the eyes to the rest of the league, saying, wow, St. Francis can play. They've got playmakers. They can throw the football. This is the other thing we noticed is St. Francis is known for being an incredible running football team, just like Serra and De La Salle, but this year they're throwing the football, and they're rotating two quarterbacks, and they're not afraid to throw it over the middle, so we'll be watching for that today.
And two very accomplished coaching staffs as well. Obviously, Coach Walsh for Serra, opposite Greg Calgano for St. Francis. This has been somewhat of a rivalry between these two sides going back the decade plus for Calgano, the 20 plus for Walsh. This is a coaching battle as much as it is between, as you see, the seniors as well as some of the captains on the field for the coin flip.
Yeah, Coach Calgano, we had a great conference call with him. He's very respectful of what Coach Walsh has created here at St. Francis. Walsh in his 25th season, a legendary running back from De La Salle, brings all that fire and everything he learned from the Spartans here, builds this incredible program, and both these programs really respect each other, and looking forward to today's game. And
also very similar in the vein that, again, the WCL competition has been much more of a reflection of these two groups. A Serra squad that has averaged nearly 27 points per game in league. Meanwhile, you look at what St. Francis has done after shaking off their early defeats, 20 points per game in their last three. They found a way to move the ball. The pace sort of suits them. Like you mentioned, Stephen, more of a pass as well as run offense this year, a little bit more balance. And as we get set for our prayer into the national anthem before the starting lineups and kickoff between Serra and St. Francis, we take our final pause here before we begin the game. Again, a rivalry renewed here at Brady Family Stadium. We'll step aside for this.
The Tongan known as the Kahoa, symbolizing love, respect, celebration, and spiritual connection, given for special events or simply to express affection. The elaborate and unique craftsmanship of a power.
Thank you very much. At this time, we would ask all of you who are able to please rise and remove your caps. We will begin with a prayer, which will be followed by the national anthem.
Singing our national anthem today, please welcome 4th grader Gracelyn Falebai.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Loving God, It's because of you that we are here. Because we are here to celebrate you and the goodness of this creation. We're here to celebrate the talents that you blessed these football players with. We're here to celebrate the coaches. We're here to celebrate all those who are here in honor of the Polynesian culture. We ask you to bless all of us, fans, who love and support these two teams. Bless the entire community of St. Francis, the entire community of Serra, and in a special way, bless all of our friends of the Polynesian culture. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
So after a beautiful rendition of our nation's anthem, we are just about set to go here on Polynesian Day from Brady Family Stadium. Evan Giddings alongside my broadcast partner, Stephen Shea. And this is one that, again, between Serra and St. Francis, two programs vying for Western Catholic, of course, league sort of dominance at this point. Two teams that have not necessarily gotten to the end goal, figuring themselves out completely, but both teams entering this game know exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, I think both teams are, having a chance to get healthier and stronger, and what St. Francis did to, that last drive to just edge Midi in that last game, 2019, was, that was a real gut check for them. When I talked to Coach Calcano, he was very proud of that win, and I think Midi's come out this season and really shown that, they are a tough program to be dealt with, and so that was kind of setting the stage here for today, which now you come in and you've got Serra and St. Francis, two rivals, and there's going to be some hitting here today.
Yes, there will be. There's also going to be somewhat of a reintroduction for the Serra side, perhaps the biggest addition to the team so far, and that is none other than Giovanni Henley, a two-way player that has been out for a couple of weeks. His return should make a big difference for Coach Walsh.
Yeah, when you and I talked to Coach Walsh, that was a key for him to get him back healthy. He's back in the lineup. It really allows them to kind of open up and do a lot of different things on defense. He's a dynamic player, really a lockdown defender for the Padres. And so, yeah, here we go. We're ready to kick off here.
And there is Henley, as you see on your screen, all courtesy, of course, of Bay Area Sports TV. Evan Giddings, Stephen Shea with you as St. Francis, who is going to kick off. Serra deferred towards the second half, and we are underway. As taking it outside of his own end zone, and then going right down is Charles Walsh, and here comes the starting offense for Serra.
Yeah, don't be don't be surprised. You know what Serra likes to do? Sometimes they'll come out and they'll throw the ball right away, and not afraid to throw it to Charlie Walsh, the young sophomore phenom who's just electric after he catches the ball. He can take it to the house. We've seen him do it already this year. And, Singleton, the running back, is another guy that's just really tough to get to the ground.
And, of course, all going to be quarterbacked by the freshman, Will Orr, who has done a nice job sort of being, tagged back and forth with another senior in the backfield as well. Could see multiple quarterback looks today for Serra, but it has been Orr's job as of the last couple of weeks, and he has rewarded the faith of his head coach with a 3-0 start to conference play.
Yeah, and the ball just comes flying off his hand effortlessly.
In the backfield with him is Isaiah Singleton. To his right, it's a quick hitter to the outside, complete to Walsh as he marches his way up the field, brought down at about the 25-yard line. Nice gain on first down.
Yeah, kind of like we were just saying. They're not afraid to throw it out to Charlie early, get him some touches. If you haven't seen Singleton, he's a very patient runner. He's built really strong on his lower half, and he does not go down on first contact. Finds a way to always fall forward for an extra 2 or 3 yards. He's really fun to watch.
261 yards receiving, 52 rushing this year for Walsh. Or this season, 3 touchdowns through the air, 3 interceptions as well. Man in motion, it's a give. Walsh loses it. Ball is on the ground, and it is recovered by St. Francis. And an early mistake costly puts the Lancers on the plus side of the field.
Yeah, that's well, we can see the replay here. I mean, when Walsh is coming across, it looked kind of like a loose exchange there. Ball never got settled in. Charlie tried to get handle of it, and it just came loose, and really not a great start, obviously. The kids are working all week. They know these set plays they're going to come out and start off the game with, and so that's really unfortunate for Serra there.
The fumble by Walsh, the recovery by St. Francis's Cody Butler. The junior cornerback came breaking in, did not miss his opportunity, as now the first drive for St. Francis starts at just the 18-yard line. It is going to be the senior in Franzino, as now an early pre-snap penalty is going to cost St. Francis a couple of yards.
Yeah, and when I talked to Coach Greg Calcano, the first thing he said to me is, we've got to limit our penalties and our turnovers. And sure enough, day game, a lot of these kids are used to playing at night. Caffeine hasn't set in yet.
The 1:30 kickoff here, of course, at Serra, as the give is up the gut to the right side. A spin, and into the secondary goes the starting running back, and a gorgeous move that time by Motu Keanaaina. That's a name you'll hear a lot today.
Watch out for him. I mean, this is a legendary family. The dad actually was here. He was a Serra Padre, and Sarah's probably scratching their head wondering how he went down and had a bunch of unbelievable kids that have all played for St. Francis, but watch out for number 11 today. He is their go-to running back.
His 88th carry of the year puts him over 400 yards for the season, 3 touchdowns as well for the junior tailback. The give is to him again. He goes right through the chute and runs into a pair of Padres who drop him. It looks like it's going to be close to a first down, bringing up third.
Yeah, Padres are stout in the middle there, so they are tough. You got Peyton Thomas, senior, 280-pound. And then you've got the young freshman, Lafu, number 92. He locks it down on the defensive end side. So the linebackers, too, for Serra are really fun to watch. Number 0, Medina, 6'3", 225 linebacker. He flies around the field and makes plays.
This is a St. Francis offense that is going to look like use its first time out here on 3rd and short. And so Greg Calgano wants time to talk things over. This is an offense for St. Francis that, again, the numbers for Serra and St. Francis a bit skewed by their non-league competition, but 20.2 points per game, nearly 300 yards per game. And it's been a bit of both. You see Kainan, the huddle there, the Fafita brothers, the 2 tackles anchoring both sides of that offensive line. In the past, this has purely been more of a run-first offense, but like we talked about in pregame, Stephen, they've introduced the pass a lot more this season.
I mean, I think it's fair to say Serra has some scar tissue as it relates to watching St. Francis come and just run the football right at him. I mean, number 76, John Fafita, 6'6", 350 going to USC to play lineman. They might be running this short yardage right here, right behind him.
And you can see where 76 is lined up. He is not an easy one to miss.
Jeez.
And it's going to be a give to Keanu Aina. They'll go right to that side. He spins through traffic, and he reaches for the goal line. He's going to be stopped short as the touchdown-saving tackle was made on the other side, and it looked like it might have been Thomas that tripped him up.
Yeah, watch this right side on this replay. They do run right behind the big USC lineman, Fafita. Just moving bodies out of the way there. Great run there for St. Francis. Now 1st and goal.
Cornell James made the hit at the goal line, but it is now 1st down and goal from the 3. And they bring in the big fullback, Jacob Salapere, 5'10", 210 pounds. Try and lead Keanu Aina. Franzino under center. A little bit of motion up front, and Serra might have, they were induced. It's going to be a false start.
Ooh, that's a big. Yeah. Coach Galcano is not going to be happy with these penalties here. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. It's funny, when you look at John Fafita line up, he's just a mountain of a man, but his brother, who's 6'6", 235, just a mere 100 pounds lighter, as the left tackle as a sophomore. And we were talking before the game, what's the food bill, you think, on a weekly basis for Mom Fafita?
Well, there's a Costco not too far away from here. I imagine the Fafitas are quite the frequent shoppers at Costco. Franzino under center now turns. The gives Keanu Aina into the backfield. Serra immediately, and the play is made by none other than Lamani Fehoko.
Ooh, and Fehoko, you'll see him all the whole game. He loves to operate right in that middle. He is a menace. Here he is right here. He gets through that middle of that line of scrimmage, and he's all over and blows up this run in the backfield. Great play for the Padres.
And again, a potential costly penalty. As you saw, their first penalty, they were able to overcome it on that 3rd and short conversion. But here inside the gold zone, if you will, Serra has stood tall for the first test.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to throw the football here.
Lined up on the outside is Zachariah Holloway. They look that way. Franzino over the middle, and no one is home. Intended target looked to be Isaiah Porter, the senior tight end.
Yeah, so here we go. I mean, this is a big play in the game right now. Serra turns the ball over. If they can hold them here and force a field goal attempt, that'll be kind of a minor win, not letting them march in here early.
Well, either way, St. Francis has an opportunity to play from ahead here. They were down 13-0 last week against Midi. Eventually came back and won that game in the waning moments. We're expecting an equally competitive match here today now against Serra. Empty backfield for Franzino. He steps him in the pocket and he'll look to run. Angles left, a couple of Padres that way. Can he get to the goal line? He will. Wow. Franzino scampers in from afar, and it's an early St. Francis advantage.
And you know, when you watch the tape on St. Francis, you do see that Franzino's got that capability to take off and cause problems. And there was really nothing there for him when he dropped back to pass, and so he tucked it early. And then when he started to go out here on the left side, St. Francis had plenty of time to see that he was trying to scamper to that left edge, and they could not get there in time.
So just under 9 to play, a 10-yard rushing touchdown for the St. Francis senior.
Yeah, Dylan Modena, number 0, the linebacker, did not look like he was at full strength there chasing to the corner.
And I apologize, Drew Cumby, the sophomore quarterback for St. Francis today. A late switch for them as the extra point is up, and it is good. 7-0 St. Francis here on the road after the Walsh fumble put them in plus territory.
Well, St. Francis comes out, puts some points on the board, and kind of sets the tone here early in this first quarter. We're in for a fight today. This is going to be a really good game.
And now the question becomes how Serra responds. We talked with Walsh during our call about, you know, the fact that there is some inexperience at the quarterback position, starting a freshman and or, has cost them some turnovers in the past, but that time, whether it was miscommunication, a bit of an early juggle, you know, that turnover is something they now have to quickly put behind them.
Yeah, I think, you know, handling the ball behind the line of scrimmage is always kind of touchy. You know, St. Francis has a lot of plays where they're moving the ball and they're going to one back and the other back is tossing back to a quarterback. So there's a chance for, you know, these type of mishaps. But I feel like Serra's going to lock this down, and they'll come out here and put a nice drive together. We'll see how they do here.
So the kickoff from Lucas Vaughn, the 5'10 junior, and back at their own 3-yard line, the combination of Henley along with Walsh. End over end kick. They stay away from Henley, and a good one to Walsh, who brings it out from his own 2-yard line. Towards the number he moves. Back to the outside. He's got a little bit of room. Makes a man miss. Walsh up the sideline. Walsh across midfield, and what a run by Charles Walsh.
Woo! Charlie Walsh doing what he does. I mean, he had to stay patient coming up the sideline. Hopefully we'll get this replay to come up. I mean, he takes the ball just in front of the goal line, is allowed to come out of there, and then he just works up this sideline right here, breaks it back to the edge, and then watch this move right here. Pulls it back, and that was a nice move to get him another extra 15, 20 yards, and he put on the Jets, puts Serra in some really good starting field position.
A 51-yard kick return for Charlie Walsh as he looks to atone for the early mistake. And now Serra on the St. Francis side of the field at the 42-yard line. In the backfield with Singleton. Serra turns, and it's a give up the middle, and immediately met in the backfield, a tackle for loss as none other than the middle linebacker. And that is McCoy to make the play. Sean McCoy, their leading tackler.
Yeah, nice play by McCoy. Got some real good athletes on the field here defensively for St. Francis, so watch these guys play. Chase Cahoon is going to Stanford at linebacker number 5. He is a playmaker.
Yeah, McCoy, the leader in tackles for loss. That's his 8th of the season as he gets into the backfield for a loss of 1. 2nd down and 11. It's a play action fake. Stepping up in the pocket. There's nowhere to go. Ball nearly comes out as it looked like it was ripped away. And Serra's going to be able to fall on top of it. The play that time by St. Francis.
Yeah, here's the replay. I agree with you, Evan. This ball looks like it does come out almost. I mean, lucky that ball falls back here. Watch this right here. Ball loose right there and just fell right back into the lap of the quarterback for Serra. So good job there to just kind of hold on to it.
The 10th sack of the season by St. Francis's defense. It was Miles Day, the 6'3", 200-pound sophomore. They didn't have a sack at all last week against Mitty. And they have one here in the opening minutes of the first quarter, leading by a touchdown.
Watch for tight end, number 44 here, Chase Cahoon.
Stepping up in the pocket.
Cannon.
Throwing out to the outside, and looked like a grab nearly made. It's going to be ruled a catch, and it is made by none other than Jace Cannon.
Wow. And quarterback looked like he got hurt there. I don't know. Watch this right here as he throws the football. He takes a shot. He's going to come back onto the field. Oh, actually, no, he's not.
So Caleb Bandel has been the quarterback for this second drive after Will Orr orchestrated the first.
In a different set here. I don't know who's that quarterback.
Malachi Tuofo. Looked like they're running somewhat of a different look up front.
You don't see Malachi at quarterback very often, if ever.
And the give is going to be to Singleton. He is going to get stuffed once, but he gets through a tackle and he makes his way for the first down. What an extra effort made by the running back.
I can't wait to watch the replay here. This is what Singleton does. I mean, I think look at that. He lost a shoe in the first exchange right here. And then he just pulls out of the shoe and decides to try to see if he can still take it to the house. He then lost part of his uniform. I mean, he's coming off now. He's going to have to get rid of that.
So it looks like right now Serra is operating without a quarterback. You see Giovanni Henley in the backfield. Looks like C.J. Aho, a two-way player as well. As Malachi continues to initiate as the de facto signal caller with the injury to Bandel on this drive.
Yeah.
First down from the, looks like the 22-yard line, and it's Henley. Goes around the edge, and Henley's got space, and Henley is in. Welcome back, Giovanni Henley, a 22-yard score.
Man, I think the Padres are happy to see him back and healthy. He turned on the Jets and got to the edge and gets around the corner for a touchdown for Serra Padres. Unbelievable move there for Giovanni Henley. And then you'll see this. Watch this. Look at this.
And quickly, the two-point conversion is converted. They catch St. Francis napping as a little pitch play from Singleton initiates now an 8-7 advantage for Serra.
Yeah, you know, they've done this a couple times this year, and they've been successful out of the 3 times. I think they've been successful twice getting that two-point conversion that way. They must have had that plan, but I agree with you, Evan. There's got to be some concern right now. I didn't see William Orr get hurt, number 5, the starting freshman quarterback. And obviously Caleb Bendel comes in and takes a huge shot right on his right hip, lower right leg area. So something must be going on here with both quarterbacks now for Serra.
So it takes them just 2 minutes and 46 seconds to go 6 plays down the field, including a big 4th down run from Isaiah Singleton. All, of course, initiated by the 51-yard kickoff return by Charlie Walsh. So multiple phases contributing to that score, as now after the 2-point conversion, it is Serra 8 and St. Francis 7.
Well, big play here. I mean, starting off tied 7-all here in what we think is going to be an amazing football game today. These two teams are going to go back and forth, and some big developments now if Serra actually even has either one of their quarterbacks.
And the first time we've got to see Saul Marks on the field, one of the best kickers in the country, and has multiple 50-yard field goals this year. So we're going to see the right leg of Marks for the first time today, because once Serra got the ball, had the fumble, St. Francis scored, kicked off, and Serra marches down the field to get 6 plus the 2.
Yeah, and this most times goes through the uprights. You might be kicking into the wind.
Well, he got pretty close. It's through the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he's electric. I mean, we've seen him 53, 52-yarder. He set the record this year for Serra. Last year I was up at Folsom, and they started off the season at Folsom in a night game. It's like going to a college football game, and he hit a 37-yarder to make it a really happy bus ride home and kind of shock everybody to start last year's season against Folsom.
So a bit of a more fair start for the Serra defense this time, with the clock stopped at 6:10 here in the opening period. The 10-yard run from Drew Gumby, the sophomore quarterback, getting the scoring started. And now a defense that, again, the overall numbers not necessarily going to wow you. A team that's given up this year 32 points per game, but in league play during these 3 victories, Stephen, it's just been 10 points per game.
I think that's more reflective of who they are. I talked to Coach Mons. The kids call him Coach Mons, the defensive coordinator, and he's locked in today, stopping the action over the middle.
Gumby looks to the inside seam, and he is going to make a connection, as making the catch is Dom Otiza, the senior wideout, and a quick tackle is made.
Yeah, you got to be cognizant here. Like we talked about, St. Francis can throw and run the football, so a balanced attack here today from both teams is what we expect to see.
Giovanni Henley on the stop. You just saw his 22-yard run get Serra on the scoreboard, and that is the playmaker. Moves all over the field, kind of like a center fielder on defense for Coach Walsh. Does so much for both sides of the football. He's a welcome addition after missing the last 3 weeks with an illness. Play action fake. Gumby looking to set up a screen, and he is going to be dragged down far in the backfield as the sack for Serra. It is Judah Halapua.
Wow, on Polynesian Day, how apropos. Look at him. Moving in there, just pushes aside, and he is all over the quarterback immediately, puts his hands up on both pump fakes, and then just body slams him down to the 2-yard line. What a play for the Padres.
Tofahava, on the sack for Serra. And so that's going to drive St. Francis all the way back to their own 9-yard line. A loss of just about 11 on the play as it's 3rd down and long.
Don't be surprised if they go to number 32 here.
Gumby, with a little bit of time, is going to dial up the deep ball, just throws it up there, and it is incomplete. Intended target, Sean Walsh, had a couple of Padres in coverage.
Well, good defense here by the Padres to keep them kind of locked down there. It was a big sack, obviously. You don't have a lot of plays in the playbook for that yardage to pick up, and they just kind of threw it down there hoping they could sync up, and they just didn't. So now they're going to have to punt. Serra's got 2 people back here, trying to really get some good field position. Watch for Charlie Walsh again. If he gets it, like we've already seen today, he is electric.
Yeah, it's Walsh alongside the senior Brody Smith. Is back to deliver the punt.
Yeah, Brody Smith can dance too, so watch out.
Wate Pifiletti. It's a low end-over-end line drive away, almost a ground ball picked up by Walsh at the 48-yard line, runs out of bounds and gets out at about the 45. So for the second straight drive, Stephen, due to special teams, and this time now due to its defense, it's a good starting spot for Serra and their offense.
Yeah, kind of trying to see if they're going to run out one of their quarterbacks here. Be interesting to see, but
Serra first and 10 at the Lesser 45.
I don't know. I mean, number 10 for Serra is coming out as the quarterback again.
So Malachi Dalfao is going to take the snaps, it seems.
I take that
Bandel. Bandel is
Bandel's
back on the field for Serra. So a good sign, missing just a couple of snaps, again resulting in a 22-yard touchdown the last time Serra had the ball. And it's going to be whistled dead before the play initiates.
Yeah, Evan, that start of the broadcast we were talking about, it's Polynesian Day here, and you and I were talking about how the Polynesians have they're literally some of the greatest athletes in every facet of football, from junior football, Pop Warner, all the way to the all-pros in the NFL. So both of these schools get to enjoy the luxury of having some incredible Polynesian players. So celebrating Polynesian Day here.
And we've already seen the impact of a few of them, including Keanai on the opposite side for St. Francis, and now trying to do his best is Singleton. Up the gut he goes, and it's good for a first down past the 35-yard line.
I mean, just watching Singleton play football, he is so tough. Look at him take it right up off the left side of the line here. First contact as usual. Doesn't really phase him, and he just finds a way to then tumble down for an extra 2 yards and get the first down. Great run.
It was a physical Isaiah Singleton fourth down second effort that continued the drive that ended up turning into 8 points for Serra the last time they had the ball. 4, 2 split each way. Now for Bandel, back in the game after missing the tail end of the last drive. It's a handoff to Singleton, and with a little bit of wiggle, he had stood up at the line of scrimmage, maybe a short gain on the play. And it looked like it was Cahoon.
Yeah. Cahoon, now you know why he's going to Stanford. Singleton, you don't see Singleton just stop very often, and he got absolutely popped right here in the line of scrimmage. Watch this. Bam. Where are you going?
Well, he's going to Stanford. Low man one on that play, so short run.
Nice play by St. Francis there.
Well, and again, this is a defense that you can see the size on the defensive line. Cahoon in the middle. They got some fast members of the secondary. It's a physical defense, and always ratcheted up in a rivalry match, of course, today with the one with Serra. So Bandel now looks like he's a bit confused by the play call, and that's going to force Serra to take a timeout. Clock stopped at 2:57 here in the opening period. Lancers scoring off the turnover, and Serra returning the favor.
Yeah, the other kid to watch on defense, number 7, Sean McCoy, the defensive end, 6'1", 220 pounds. Talking to Coach Calcano, he was singing his praises, saying how meaningful he is to that defensive line, causing problems, putting pressure on the quarterback, and just a great all-around defender. I think, Evan, you and I were talking about number 22, the transfer that came in for St. Francis, Judah Halapua. It's a nice Polynesian name. I think he's a welcome addition to St. Francis. Trying to see if you see him out there right now, number 22. There he is. I think he's out there.
Well, wearing the lay on your screen there is the 25th-year head coach in Patrick Walsh, and you actually, Stephen, delivered a little something to him before the game today.
Yeah, actually I did. I'll tell you about it right after this play. It's
2nd down and 8 as Bandel now moves under center. In the backfield, Singleton. Single back, play action pass. Bandel looking deep. He's got a man open in the middle of the field, leaping forward and unable to make the catch is Brody Smith. Had a couple of steps on the last member of the St. Francis secondary, and unfortunately Bandel could not hit him.
Yeah, and that's another, that's the famous family, Kianani, senior safety, number 4. Watch him go up here at the last minute and put his hands right where, was that Walsh who was trying to catch that? I couldn't see who was on the other, Smith on the other end.
Yeah, just a deep post over the middle, and you're absolutely right. That was a fantastic play. Kaimani Keanaina, as he, along with his brother Motu, kind of dual threats on both sides of the ball. Third down now and 8. And it's going to be a handoff to Singleton. Plenty of space. He's got the first down and more. Singleton up the sideline. Singleton delivers a blow out of bounds, and he's inside the 10.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there when the flags came in. I don't know if that was an illegal block or something happened there right as Singleton was about to take it all the way in. Watch him here off the left side. Really nobody touches him, and that is not good right here. But I think they're going to get a hold here on number 8, but I didn't see the hold.
If the play stands, it would have been an 18-yard run for Singleton. It does appear he's got enough for close to a first down. Oh, they are going to make them back it up. So that is a costly holding penalty against Serra.
Is that after he got enough yardage for the first down, or?
Well,
yeah, they're moving the sticks.
They're going to move the sticks. Sorry, our official referenced third down upcoming, but it is going to be good enough for a first down, so not a completely costly penalty.
Yeah, you see how when Singleton doesn't get touched at the line of scrimmage, you've got a major problem on your hands.
Man in motion is Walsh. Keeping in his Bandel, up the gut he goes.
Oh.
And it looked like the ball might have came out for a moment. And with it going the other way is Kamani Keanaina. He's down the sideline. He's at the 30. Has one man to make miss. Gets away from him and is brought down inside the 10. And what a reversal of fortune for St. Francis. A big stop by the defense again.
Wow, you know, Caleb has been loose with the football here. He almost fumbled it the last time he had it. And then he's going up the line here. He's standing up real tall and has the ball kind of loose. And number 32 comes in and just strips the ball from him. Great play by St. Francis. And I think that's
Stefania Alatini.
Yeah, and he's a commit to BYU, and he's all everything for this team. And he just basically stood up Caleb and then just stripped him right there at point of contact. And St. Francis was off to the races.
Now, there was a flag thrown in the middle of the play toward the St. Francis sidelines. I think this might have been for excessive celebration, and understandably so. It effectively flipped the field. You have Bandel that was down inside the red zone. It's taken all the way back to the 8-yard line.
Yeah, sometimes they give a sideline warning when the kids get fired up. I don't know if that's what the call was. I didn't hear it.
And so it indeed looks like it's going to be just a warning towards St. Francis. But either way, a second turnover against Serra's offense, a fumble first between Orr and Walsh on the opening drive. Now 2 drives later, the fumble from Bandel now sets up an excellent opportunity for St. Francis. Under center again is Cumbie. The handoff goes to the right side and nowhere to go as the stop was made in the backfield.
Yeah, number 10.
Malachi Doafo.
Here's the replay here. St. Francis trying to bounce it out on the edge. And just a great play there by the Padres on the edge right there.
So Keanaina stood up by Doafo.
My our good buddy Pat O'Rourke, he's gonna be snickering at some of my pronunciations today.
Yeah, probably mine too. Whoever you are, Pat, I appreciate the opportunity. Cumbie, 3-step drop, looks left, fires towards the end zone, and it is dislodged. Well, the catch was nearly made by Zachariah Holloway, and then 9. It looked like Aiden Labrador came in for the pass breakup.
Wow, what a play. I mean, he saved a touchdown there. That was a dime coming right over the middle. Plenty of time to drop back, survey to the left side. He knows right where he's going with it. Sets his feet, fires just a rope, and just a great play there by St. Francis. I mean, excuse me, by the Padres.
And so now 3rd down and 10 from the 11-yard line.
That's a great name, Labrador. How can you forget that one?
3rd down and goal, pardon me. So they got to get into the end zone here. Cumby with an empty backfield. 3 wide receivers left, 2 to the right. Cumby drops back. Pressure comes off the edge. He gets rid of it, and it is going to be caught at the goal line. Was he short? Yes. The catch was made by Andrew Takapaltolo. Pardon me, that was Riley Barton, the catch made for...
I thought he was in. I didn't see anybody touch him, and...
St. Francis is now down at the 1-yard line, and it looks like they're going to go for it.
Wow, I thought he definitely was in for that touchdown there.
Again, no contact necessary. Once he is down, that is where the play is whistled dead. So our side judge came in to make the call, and I think a good one.
Yeah, good thing there's no red flags and instant replay, because I think that would have been a touchdown.
So 2 tight ends and a fullback in for St. Francis. They are explaining exactly what they're going to do. Kiana Aina dots it, and instead it's Cumby who takes it himself, and he has stood up at the line of scrimmage, and Serra makes a 4th and goal stop.
Wow, that was unbelievable right there. Number 55, Fiocco, just said, I don't think so. And that's what he does. I mean, he loves to play in that center part of the line, and he blew that up. Whoa, look, was it a fumble?
Well, either way, it's going to be a turnover on
Oh, was it
downs.
4th down?
It's going to be a turnover on downs.
Oh, my bad.
Not sure if that ball came out or not, but it did not matter.
Didn't,
that
no.
was a beautiful play. You're absolutely right. Pierced the A gap, and Cumby had nowhere to go.
Wow.
So Fehoko comes up with the big stop for Serra. And instead of a turnover becoming points, the defense picks up the offense. That was a massive play.
Yeah, 44.2 seconds left in the first quarter. This will be interesting what they decide to do here. They are literally on the half-inch line.
Well, and they're just going to have to get this ball out. It is Fedoa who hands it off and taking it up to the 5-yard line to creating a little bit of space.
Yeah, nice play there.
And the carry was from
number 20,
Takapalatolo.
Yeah, say that. We just keep unbelievable Polynesian kid after another unbelievable Polynesian kid all over the field making plays today on both sides of for both teams.
And so Serra has the option to send this to the second quarter should they choose, unless they'd like to get another play off. It's a little pitch to Singleton. He runs left, and he's got some blockers in front of him as he moves beyond the 10 all the way towards the 15-yard line. It's good enough for a 1st down, but a flag comes in after the play, as it looks like there's a Padre also down, and that is Singleton.
Yeah, he's getting up really slow. He is getting up, though.
So got up under his own power. Walsh is in the middle as his athletic training staff is going to help Singleton to the sideline, and that is going to take us, after the stoppage, close to the end of the first.
Yeah, he's going to be okay. He's kind of shaking that right arm, that right collarbone. I don't know if he fell on it funny or what.
Well, there was a personal foul at the end of the play against St. Francis.
Maybe that was the cause of it. I don't know if we can run that back and see the replay. I don't know if we have that, but here he is, and we'll get a chance to see the end of the run here where he gets, it's kind of his left side that he was, or right collarbone. Let's see what happens here. I didn't see the penalty. Oh, he fell on the football. Oh, and maybe they got that right there. But he did fall right on the football.
Either way, it's a 15-yard penalty and the end of the first quarter. So Serra survives 2 turnovers in the opening period and remains ahead 8-7. Evan Giddings alongside Stephen Shea with you. We step aside here from Serra. I'll be back with more from Brady Family Stadium after this on Bay Area Sports TV.
Get a reminder, we have all kinds of food trucks in the back. We've got
Stadium. Evan Giddings alongside Stephen Shea with you here on Bay Area Sports TV. 8-7, Serra leads. As after an unnecessary roughness penalty pushed them out to the 30-yard line, it is Will Orr, the freshman, back into the game under center for the Padres. It's a quick throw to the outside, complete to Charlie Walsh. He uses a nice block to free himself as he scoots for first down yardage, a gain of 12 up the sideline.
And he's still down.
Well, you talked about this right off the rip, Stephen, the fact that St. Francis, they are a physical football team. And while a physical block was absolutely made, Walsh may have fallen a bit awkwardly.
Yeah, he did. He got hit by Cahoon, who the big kid going to Stanford, the linebacker, but he didn't get hit got hit more kind of a push. But you're right, he kind of fell awkwardly, and he's still down on the ground.
And has been such a playmaking factor for this Serra team this season, not just on offense, but even as early in this game as special teams as well. He had the 51-yard kickoff return that put them in position to score their first and lone touchdown. So potentially a big loss for Serra here as he remains down on the ground. And everyone huddled up on both sidelines, as you can see.
Yeah, kind of hold your breath here. It's, football is such a brutal game as far as just got to be so tough, and even if you are, you're going to take some really awkward shots at times and make you land. He's up. You know what happens sometimes, these kids, they get pushed or hit, and then they fall kind of awkwardly and can either knock the breath out of them but Charlie's going to come over and sit down. He's one of the toughest kids on the team. He's a fighter, so based on how he's moving around, he'll be back in this ball game.
Well, one other potential injury that has turned on its head in a positive fashion, Isaiah Singleton, back on the field for Serra, was injured to play right before the end of the first quarter. He's in the backfield with Orr at his left hip. Orr fires it quickly, and at the 40-yard line, the catch was made. It was by Jaden Aparicio, and then the tackle immediately made on the opposite side by St. Francis's Max Haberlock.
Yeah, and Orr gets rid of this football. Watch, he gets hit here. That could easily be called. That ball's out, and then he gets thrown to the turf well after that. So St. Francis got away with one there. They're lucky they didn't get a call.
And good news is Charlie Walsh, one play later, is back on the field. He is lined up in the slot after that tackle by number 13. So a loss of 3 there, second down and 13. Orr, who we haven't seen since the opening drive in that first fumble, looks to throw and now is just going to dirt it. Well, that's a heads-up play from the freshman. Nothing there as everyone was covered downfield.
Yeah, they didn't. It was all linemen there, so the refs are talking to each other right now because Singleton was outside on the other side here. And here's Singleton kind of floating out. I guess they could say he was trying to throw it to him, but they might give him a grounding call here. Oh, they do.
And they are. I thought that Singleton might have been in the area, but you're right, didn't really have his head around, and so the officials are going to hit Orr and Serra with an intentional grounding call that is going to make things a tad more difficult.
Jeez, I'll say.
All the way back to the 28.
They haven't been able to get Jace Gannon, the big 6'4" senior tight end, number 44, who's got, some of the best hands you'll see in Northern California at the tight end position. He's out there on that right side, and if they can find him on something down the field here, he is unbelievable to watch catch a football.
The loss of down as well. Third down and 15 as Orr is going to swing it out quickly to Walsh. Walsh with space. Walsh is going to get absolutely blown up. The ball is out and is picked up. Serra has given up 3 fumbles in the first half as it was collected by the Lancers, scooped up. I think Chase Cahoon got it.
My God, number 22 comes in and absolutely lays the wood. Charlie's running up. He thinks he's got an angle here. I don't think he saw 22 coming. Oh, I'm sorry, 32. Holy cow.
Safani Alatini dislodging the football
Yeah.
And so once again, St. Francis has it deep in Serra territory.
And there's a reason he's going to play in the Big 12 for BYU. That was a monster hit, dislodging the ball. Unbelievable play for St. Francis.
Unfortunately, Walsh is okay. We saw him a bit woozy on the sideline after an early spill and then hit hard there. And so St. Francis will take over at the Serra 30-yard line. It's Cumbie dancing in the backfield. There's going to be a holding call against St. Francis. Cumbie better get rid of it. He does. He's hit in the process. And we'll await to see the result of the marker.
The freshman 92 coming in on him quick there. Cumbie made a nice move here. You'll see he turned around, and I think that's where they got the hold. And he's trying to keep his eyes downfield, but then big 92's coming on him and closing. Ooh, he got lucky there. He hit him in the back of the head. You don't want to do that.
And the play made, or the penalty forced, I should say, by the senior Peyton Thomas. He's 6 foot 285, but quick as a hiccup, got around the edge that time of one of the two tackles, Fafita. And it was against the sophomore, Cy Fafita.
Yeah,
so
his
that's going to be a
senior brother
10-yard
might
penalty.
be talking about that in the, once they're watching a little video tonight.
Yeah, Cy Fafita anchoring the blind side, and then Fio.
I think it's John, right?
Pardon me. Correct, John Fafita.
I don't think anybody goes around John.
355, he's the right tackle for a very stout offensive line. Another penalty, however, against the St. Francis offense, their third of the first half.
There he is, 55.
Pressure is going to be brought down. The ball comes out. They are going to roll him down, but that is a sack in the backfield from Lamani Fahoku.
Wow. Fahoku doing what he does. I mean, he immediately, you'll see on the replay, gets right in on the middle here. He's already by. He's being held, and he just still closes the gap on Cumbie and then slams him to the ground. I think the ball was coming out there.
Would have been recovered by
I guess
St.
they
Francis,
don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, but it is going to be a loss, oh my goodness, of about 13 yards.
Wow. Yeah, I think as he was throwing him to the ground, it looks like before he touches the ground, the ball is completely out.
So all the way back beyond midfield, St. Francis backed up on their side of the field to the 46 now. And now a false start is going to go against the Lancers as the flags continue to rain down on the road team in white.
Yeah, and this is what when I was talking to Coach Calgano, he's just one of the things he did not want to deal with was a bunch of penalties, shooting themselves in the foot. He wanted to try to play a clean game today, and they've been having a tough time here, staying away from the flags.
And whereas we saw Drew Cumbie for the first couple of drives, after that last big hit he took, it's Andrew Franzino into the game at quarterback for St. Francis, and the snap goes over his head, and it's a race to the football. On it, at least momentarily, is Serra, and they have it.
Wow. That was crazy.
Recovered by Peyton Thomas.
Sorry, Evan. Wow, that was amazing. I mean, the ball just came shooting out from the center. You'll see it here. I mean, it was an interesting reaction by the quarterback. It goes over his head. Watch the quarterback. It's like he doesn't turn around to go chase it. He goes and blocks. Maybe because he thought 11 behind him was going to go get it, but
and Thomas comes in to clean up the mess.
Yeah, they're trying to pick it up here. You're always told to just dive on it. They almost lost out on getting the ball, so Serra lucky to get that ball there. Here they come now, number 10 in the...
So Dalfao is going to take it. He's going to hand it off to Henley. Henley's going to put his shoulder into a defensive back and steamroll him down to the 5.
Yeah, when they come out in that format, they like to give it to Henley a couple times inside the goal line. Let him try out on the edge here and see if he can put his speed and then his physicality. Watch him drop the shoulder here as he gets around that first tackler and then just decides to drop the hammer right here.
Dalfao under center once again as Serra tries to take advantage of the turnover. It's a handoff to Singleton. Singleton slips through a crease, and he is in. Wow. Isaiah Singleton from 7 yards out. Serra once again on the board.
Great play. This is what Serra does. They love to run kind of guard tackle here. Oh, that's the wrong play there, but
the previous play that set up the touchdown.
That's all right. Here they are in this interesting format. They got 2 points out of this last time, but now they're bringing everybody back to the line of scrimmage.
And so Marks is going to motion in.
And this is all usually but automatic with the 9th-ranked kicker in the nation, just sometimes kicking it almost into the street at this end of the field.
So turnovers back and forth have created somewhat of a seesaw affair as Marks has it blocked. So not automatic, and St. Francis prevents the extra point.
Yeah.
It's just a 7-point game.
Big 58 came in there and just watch him just kind of split here. Gets right in and puts his paw up. Was not well blocked at all. Cahoon 5 was in there too.
Looked like Judah Reed was the one who made the block, so we'll see if that ends up coming back to bite Serra. It's been a game that has been a little unsteady, if you will, Stephen. We've seen 3 fumbles already from Serra, one missed snap, and essentially a fumble on the St. Francis side, and both teams have converted their turnovers into points.
And some huge hits. I mean, both teams are coming out today to put the smackdown on each other. There's some hitting going on out here that's dislodging the football. We said before the broadcast, this is a rivalry game here. These two programs have a lot of respect for each other, but on the day of the game, you know, they're ready to hit each other right in the mouth on some of these runs. They're coming to knock that ball loose.
Yeah, I've seen some mistakes on both sides in this football game, but right now Serra has been the one to capitalize a little more on their mistakes. And to be honest, the difference right now in this football game was a goal line stand with 44 seconds left at the 1 to turn over St. Francis after a fumble put them in position to take the lead.
Yeah, I agree. Well said, Evan. I think that was probably the biggest play of the game so far, was that 4th down and goal.
Play was made by Fajoko as Marks will kick it end over end into the end zone, and leaving it right there is going to be Cody Butler. So out to the 25, St. Francis moves, and going to be curious to see Cumbie, who took a big hit on the previous possession, was replaced before that botched snap over the head of Franzino. And so we'll see which signal caller exits the huddle for Greg Calgado.
Yeah, Combi is the sophomore who's got the live arm, I believe, right? 6'3", 170.
Yep.
And Franzino is the captain, senior.
So Cumbie is back on the field for St. Francis, perhaps just to the sideline in the previous couple of plays. Had to get checked up on. In the backfield with him is Motu Keanaaina, who we have not heard a lot from today. We've heard from his brother, had a pass breakup at the safety position. As now Keanaaina takes it, and he's going to be hit. And right around the line of scrimmage, looked like the tackle was made that time by Tofahava.
And he put him on the turf immediately. He's coming right here. It's well blocked off this right side under Big John's moving people around, just throwing people around, and then bam. Blue shirts decided to end that play.
Yeah, just a mere gain of 1 as St. Francis, and this has been a team in the past under Calgano that has been very run heavy, but we talked about it with Coach Walsh before the game, Stephen. The key to stopping St. Francis' offense is stopping the run, and so far they've done that in the first half. It's going to be a give to Keanaaina. He is dragged down momentarily in the backfield. Pardon me, that was
53.
Loa Tuilela. And so he is immediately stopped once again, and you're right, the tackle made by Serra's 53.
Man, unbelievable. Great play. I mean, he just came right in and got him by the legs there and just throws him to the ground. Big 3rd down here for St. Francis.
It's going to be a turn. Play action pass. Cumbie's got a lot of time as he delivers a ball over the field, and it is tipped by Henley. Beautiful play intended for Oteza over the middle.
And I think everybody on the coaching staff is happy to see Henley back there. Henley breaks off. I think they were in a zone, and he breaks off here, comes back to the middle, and then jumps up in the air, puts his left hand up in the air, and just gets enough of it, because that would have prevented a big play. I think that pass was on target.
I believe so, and would have been a first down. And so, again, in the first game for Giovanni Henley, a touchdown run, a pass defense. We've seen him make plays on special teams as well. And a warm welcome back for the junior Giovanni Henley. So back to punt is St. Francis. Tifoletti awaiting Cahoon in front of him. And he gets it away. A line drive, snapped by Walsh at his own 41-yard line. A couple of wiggles, he's across midfield, and then he is buried by Cahoon. Cahoon has been hitting on both defense and special teams. Still, a nice run for Walsh.
I mean, if you didn't think Walsh was tough before this game, and first of all, watch his moves here. Kind of shakes off and gets a move. That was a great move to get by there, but then, bam! Oh my goodness, did he get measured up right there by the Stanford commit.
I mean, he's been seeing number 5 a lot today. Remember, it was Cahoon that forced the fumble 2 drives ago against Walsh on that 3rd down and long swing pass. So Walsh has been seeing Cahoon a little more than I'm sure he would like today.
And he's still out there. He's over on that right side in the slot.
2 wide receivers each way for Orr with Singleton in the backfield. He pulls it from the belly, little RPO action, and a nice snap on the outside, and a shoulder to boot. That was a beautiful effort by Jace Cannon, and good enough for nearly a first down.
Holy cow. We've been talking, I've been asking, when are we going to throw it to our big tight end? Watch the hands on display here. Picks it up onto his shoestrings, and then he's not going to have any of this right here. Boom.
That was against Kayana Aina, the older brother Kaimani.
And their whole family has DNA for hitting and football.
One of, I believe, 8 or 9 Kiana Ina's 2 on the field today for St. Francis. Orr's got a maneuver. Gets around one, Lancer loses the football, and it's picked up by Kiana Ina. The 4th fumble of the first half for Serra. And St. Francis has another takeaway.
I mean, he had the ball just loose in his hand out in front. Watch him here. He immediately has pressure, and he's got the ball right here just out. I mean, really loose, and he gets hit. You gotta protect the ball, especially when a play breaks down like that. You cannot have a ball out away from your body like that in traffic.
The inexperience showing a little bit for the freshman, trying to make, understandably, a play, but Stephen just trying to do a little too much right there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in that situation, tuck the ball down and see if you can get some positive yardage, and then slide and, live to fight another day.
So 7.5 to play here in the second. It has already been a whirlwind of a first half as up the gut. The backup running back, it is Tuilela, who gobbles up about 7.
Yeah, great play there. Comes off the right side behind Big John over there, moving people around and just manhandling in the line, and then giving St. Francis some room to operate over there on that right side. You can watch the big fellow walking up to the line of scrimmage. I wouldn't want to have to deal with him. Holy cow.
And so once again, it is Tuilele in the backfield. Kiana Ina, the starting running back, something to perhaps keep an eye on. A quick pass that is nearly complete. Gobbled up. It looked like dislodged and then intercepted by Giovanni Henley. He's been all over the field in his return.
Number 9 comes up and makes the shot. Kind of measured it up. You see the ball comes out on time, and it's just a little 3-yard out, and here comes 9. Bam! Dislodges it. And Henley, Johnny on the spot to take the football back for the Padres.
Well, I'm not sure if you can give away half interceptions, but Aiden Labrador absolutely deserving, as you called it out. He was the one who popped the football in the air, and Henley, right man, right place. Second turnover forced by Serra, and the first interception between both sides today.
And we're in that interesting format where they've got 10 here behind center.
Dalfao, a little bit of a jumbo package. The handoff goes to Takapatolo, and he's going to maneuver his way for about 5.
Yeah. Takapatolo is
Second down.
he's a load to bring down. He's built like a fire hydrant. I mean, you just cannot get him to get to the ground. He's a lot like Singleton in that regard.
5'6", 170 pounds, the junior.
Same format here. Going to run it maybe right at you.
Dalfao pitches it, and it's going to be a run over that right guard for a few more. It's going to be close to a first down. Again, Takapatolo on the handoff.
I think they got Big John Fafita back out there.
Yes, they do, at least for a moment.
Yeah, he
Makes his
wasn't
way to the
having.
sideline
He was pushing a Padre back there. Same format here for
Dalfao. They're just going to push their way across the first down marker, move those chains as he gets to the 29.
Yeah, 5 minutes, 39 seconds here in the first half. Chains are now moving. First down for the Padres. So
Carries for a Padre first down.
Tuafu still under center here, running this strongman format.
Already in field goal range for Saul Marks, but Singleton wants some more as he runs to the left side, buries his way into that second level and gains 7.
Serra's got to feel good about this. They're kind of giving St. Francis a little of their own medicine here, just lining up in the tough guy format, saying, why don't you see if you can stop us? And we're going to come right at you off the right or left side. This time we're going to try the left side. Singleton coming here and then just kind of picking his lane, and he always falls forward for an extra 2 yards.
And right now running behind a couple of big boys up front. Fajoko, Grayson, 275 on the offensive line, and now there's going to be a whistle before the snap.
Yeah, and they were going to literally call the same play there. They were going to kind of run off that left side again.
And an offsides call is going to give Serra an automatic first down.
Yeah, interestingly enough, looks like we got Dylan Modena out there on that left side of the line, who's usually the starting middle linebacker.
I mean, it is all about the beef up front right now for the Padres. It's a pitch to Henley. Henley runs right behind his right guard, is tripped up, but essentially followed Carlos Hernandez for a short gain.
Yeah, nice play by 55 for St. Francis, staying in the mix there, fighting off the blocker and getting Henley to get down on the ground there with a nice shoestring tackle.
Well, Singleton's going to come off the field a little bit gingerly, as we are now under 4 minutes and 30 seconds here in the first half. Dalfao with a man in motion, pitches it behind him, and met in the backfield quickly. It was Takapatolo, but then he missed, made a man miss, and at least got a couple of yards, maybe only one, but was almost a tackle for loss. So Takapatolo gains a couple. It's now 3rd down and 5. And obviously, within field goal range, Saul Marks with an advantage. And potentially Coach Walsh is trying to ensure that his team can go up by 10 points to this. It's Henley. He runs right. He's got an opening, a little shuffle, and then a tackle made. It looked like it was Keana Aina.
Yeah, number 4. Coming in there, the senior. Number 4 on 4 here out on the edge. And it was a blur all of a sudden. 1 minute he's up, and the next minute he is on the turf. Great play by St. Francis.
Had a fumble recovery on the last drive in which Serra was marching, and so makes a big 3rd down stop there, which brings out Saul Marks. And this is going to be about a 32-yard field goal, obviously well within his range. He's 5 of 7 this season as the snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. End over end, money, marks. And it's a 10-point lead for Serra.
Yeah, that's a layup for him. I mean, that was a nice kick. He didn't even kick it as clean as he normally does, but he got the job done. Charlie Walsh on the hold. We're inside 3 minutes, 2:55 here in this really entertaining first half of St. Francis and Serra going at it here today at Brady Field. So, Evan, it's been fun to work with you and listen to you call this game. It seems like you're pretty fired up. You're loving it.
Well, it's been exciting. This is one of those games that if you have blinked so far in the first half, you might have missed something. Because we've seen 4 fumbles from the Serra offense. We've seen a fumble and an interception from the St. Francis side. But the thing about it is, Stephen, it doesn't feel like many of these have been mistakes. It feels like it's been the opposing defenses that have dictated the terms and made the plays. If you're a Serra fan, you're happy, however, because the offense has made a couple more than St. Francis's.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a battle here. I feel like St. Francis, they got 2:55 here. If they can put a nice drive together and put some points on the board, man, that would sure make halftime feel a lot better here because they deserve to be a little closer right now as with all of the amazing plays that have been made on both sides of the ball for St. Francis. I feel like this is a chance for them to kind of prove and see if they can put a drive together.
Both teams have scored off of turnovers, and St. Francis has only turned 4 turnovers into 7 points as Marks boots it through the back of the end zone, and the Lancers will take over at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, it's a real weapon for St. Francis. I mean, it's almost automatic that he's going to just boot it out of the back of the end zone there, so they don't have to worry about these big returns if they're facing these electric athletes.
And, you know, if you are Coach Calgano right now, Drew Cumby, your sophomore quarterback, you know, despite having 2:55 on the clock, a couple of timeouts to operate with, you know, you don't have to necessarily force something downfield. You can still try and run the ball. You can still try and move methodically. And right now it's just about taking care of the football as there's an opportunity to collect some points in the tail end of this half.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out and probably throw it here.
Kiana Ina's in the backfield. They give it to him.
They're going to run it.
He runs towards the edge. He's got some room, and towards the sideline he goes. The flag thrown in towards the end. It is going to be before the flag a gain of 8 for Kiana Ina.
I don't know what they're going to call here. Oh, they're going to call holding. Maybe it's a receiver that was out here on the edge. I don't know if we're going to see that play again, but...
Well, and it was Big John Fafita that was talking with one of our officials. And you can see right there, he's just got between the shoulder pads.
I think it was out there on the edge. They might have got somebody on the edge out there.
And so that's going to be not as costly of a penalty because of where the flag was thrown. It's about a 4 or 5 yard penalty, but still not the way you want to start drives. And offensive penalties have been a bit prevalent in this first half for St. Francis. They've had a penalty on every drive so far that their offense has been on the field. Kiana Ina is dropped down, a shoestring tackle made by Serra's RJ Goldbeck.
Yeah, way to go, RJ. If you're Serra, you got to like this. He comes up off the edge here and then right away settles down and gets just enough of that shoestring to put St. Francis to the turf.
Yeah, Meyer might have been there to clean it up, but Kiana Ina was looking at some green turf. And so no gain on the play, bringing up second down and long. Under 2 minutes now here in the first half.
Yeah, clock running here at 1:45, 1:44. Taking a little too much time here if you're St. Francis.
Curious to see here if on this play someone takes a timeout.
I think it was. St. Francis didn't like what they had there. They were taking a lot of time.
Well, I'm wondering if Coach Walsh was going to dig into those timeouts to try and stop the clock, but St. Francis does it for him with some miscommunication before a pretty big second down. And again, it's, you know, typically you think about taking care of the football, but this has been where Serra's defense, Stephen, has been able to pounce. They have forced a couple of not just big plays on the back end towards that 20-yard line of St. Francis, but they have forced turnovers here today that have set them up for a couple scores.
Well, I mean, we knew this was going to be a tough fight today. I mean, both these teams kind of match up evenly on both sides of the ball. They've got playmakers on offense and defense here. I think St. Francis has not come out and thrown the football as well as they'd like. And like you said, Evan, they've really had too many penalties right now. Anytime they get some type of positive play, seems like the penalty flag just comes out and nullifies anything that they've done on the positive side, in some cases on offense. And so I think they got to come out here and try to see if they can spread the field and throw it down the field here. They don't have a lot of time left for either a field goal or a chance to put some points on the board here in this first half.
And that last, combination between offense, defense, and special teams, the first complementary drive by Serra, they have an opportunity, if they can get a stop here, to maybe put up some more points with the lethal weapon and, of course, Saul Marks. Rolling out to his right is Cumbie. Cumbie's going to throw, and a leaping grab made on the sideline, hauled in by Max Haberlach. What a play.
I hope we get to see this again, because Cumbie really didn't know if he had anything. Right here, he's thinking, I don't know if I've got anybody open, and then he buys a little more time and sees an opening, and that was high. And that was an unbelievable catch, and was able to get his feet in time. Great play for St. Francis.
And a first down, a gain of 16 yards all the way up to the St. Francis 34. But the clock stopped, of course, with Haberlach going out of bounds with exactly 90 seconds left. Again, still the 2 timeouts in their pocket. What a play by Cumbie. Tuilela in the backfield as Cumbie throws out to the left. It's complete at the 40-yard line, rolling for a first down and much more is Dom Oteza as the tackle was made on the back end by Medina.
Yeah, lucky Medina got him there, because I think Oteza was going to take it to the house if he got through. Watch this. He turns, and everybody's thinking he's just going to go get out to the sideline, and he turns it upfield.
That was a gain of 25, and now another quick throw towards Orteza. In the area for Serra was Meyer, but the pass incomplete.
Yeah, Orteza usually sure-handed there. I'm surprised he didn't corral that one in.
So the aerial attack beginning to rear its head for St. Francis down the end of this first half. And, as you mentioned, if they could get some points here, it is going to be Serra receiving the ball. St. Francis receiving the ball at half. So Cumbie takes a snap, looks left, nowhere to go. He's got pressure in his face as Watson to throw. Is going to be a little one-handed grab made there by, that was Tuilela.
Wow.
As he scoots his way all the way up to the 32-yard line.
Hopefully we get to see that again. That was an unbelievable catch. Cumbie on the run. Throws a dime, and look at the catch here, almost like a one-handed, getting his other hand grabbed by the defender.
He was absolutely blanketed by Medina as Peyton Thomas created pressure, and now a timeout is going to be taken with 54.2 seconds remaining in the first half.
What a play there by St. Francis, and now St. Francis is in business here. This is where an area, if you watch the tape on St. Francis, when they played against Reardon and Mitty, they like to throw to this right corner down here. And I mean, obviously Serra knows this too, but they'll be looking for this this corner route to kind of maybe even a post route right into this right corner of the end zone. They love to look for that right around this area of the field. And with not a lot of time left here, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a shot here. And I watched that on film on both games, and that was a sweet spot for them where they were able to connect in that right corner of the end zone.
And they've had a flair for the dramatic. It was St. Francis again last week against Mitty that trailed 13-0. They trailed by a touchdown with 6 minutes left to go in the game, drove down the field, and scored in the waning seconds to beat Mitty, and now sets up obviously a big WCL matchup here today.
He's looking for it.
Is taken for the 33. It's a fade route towards the end zone. They go as it's complete. A 33-yard strike delivered by Cumbie. The catch to Holloway.
I cannot believe that. I mean, everybody knows that that's what they're going to go to. If you watch any game film, this is the area of the field that they love to do it. And, I mean, Coach Walsh has to be just fuming right now. I mean, he dropped back looking for it, just throws an absolute dime into the corner, and he's wide open. What a connection for St. Francis. That's a huge play in this game.
And apologies, that was Haberlecht. The same play down the sideline, similar to the one he made earlier in the drive to extend it a 3rd and long. He made that leaping grab, toe-tapped his way out of bounds, and then he finishes off the drive with a 33-yard touchdown reception. 48.3 seconds remain. Extra point pending.
Yeah, you know, play callers have tendencies too, and, you know, just had a feeling there that they were going to try to look for that, and they did. And, you know, I guess kudos to St. Francis. They felt like they could have an edge there, and he just went off and just flew down the right edge of that and got all the way in there. And what a play by Combi. He threw I don't know why they're bringing him back here. Maybe a celebration or something. It's going to be a tougher extra point.
Yeah, there might have been an excessive celebration of the touchdown, so they'll enforce it on the extra point. Again, I mean, Serra does have one timeout. Not a lot of time left, so we'll see how they play this final look after the extra point. But, I mean, that was just a well-orchestrated final drive by Cumbie and Co. as the sophomore leads his team 75 yards on 6 plays in just about 2 minutes as the extra point is up, and it is good. And so 17-14 the score after a quick strike in the waning moments of the first half by St. Francis.
Well, I don't want to say I told you so, but holy cow. I mean, just watch a little game film. Once they get inside that 30-yard line, they definitely like to look for that play. And now there's going to be 3 weeks in a row of these guys hooking up on big moments in the game where they go looking for that right corner of the end zone. And they've had a lot of success going there.
Just one-on-one coverage, and they trusted their 5'11", 160-pound senior, Max Haberlecht, to go up and make that play.
Well, what do we got? We got 48 seconds left here. I'm sure, I don't know how many timeouts Serra has left here, but
I think they have one. Both teams have one timeout left.
Okay. So we'll see what they do here. I mean, if they have success on first down and get any type of chunky yardage, obviously a chance to kick a 50-plus yard field goal is definitely in the mix here for the Padres.
And that is the equalizer. You know, about the 35-yard line, that target range for Saul Marks based on the 52/53-yard field goals he has made this year, the latter of which a Serra record. And as you mentioned, Stephen, one of the top 10 kickers in the country. Curious to see, though, how Walsh plays this, considering the last drive, they only ran the ball.
Yeah.
And they have been playing much of this first half since those fumbles have cost them, as the kickoff is taken at the 2-yard line. It's going to be grabbed by Aparicio as he weaves his way through the middle of the field and is dropped down at the 24 with 39.5 seconds left. Do they decide to throw the ball here?
I think they do. I mean, you know, like I said, I wouldn't mind looking for my big tight end here and, you know, trying to see if I can get Chase Cannon loose over the middle of the field. The other thing is if you get him loose and you get him a ball where he's got even a little bit of space, it's tough to get him to the ground, and he can make you pay and get up the field. So obviously they got a lot of playmakers out here, so we'll see what happens.
Well, under center for Serra, it's Caleb Bandel. So the junior is going to, at least for the moment, line up under center and perhaps try and move Serra down the field. Again, they have one timeout left. Also curious to see how Calgano chooses.
Just kneels on it.
To move his defense, and it looks like Serra is going to just take a knee and go into the locker room up by 3. So a total of 6 turnovers have created quite the entertaining rivalry matchup between Serra as well as St. Francis, who gets the final score of the first half, 17-14, our score at the intermission. And so we'll be back with you for second half action after this. Evan Giddings alongside Stephen Shea here at Brady Family Stadium. And we'll be back after this. You're watching WCL football on Bay Area Sports TV.
Today, we also bring to the field the spirit of Tonga, the strength, pride, unity of a warrior people, the Sipitao. Traditional Tongan war dance was once performed before battle to fire out warriors and to show courage in the face of any challenge. Today, our players perform the Sipitao not for war, but to represent power, teamwork, and pride. The same warrior energy that drives them on the field. Every shout, every stomp, every movement tells a story of respect, unity, and heart. The Sipitao reminds us that we don't just play for ourselves. We play for our family, our school, and our community. When the team performs this chant, they carry the spirit of their ancestors and the strength of every Tongan who has ever stood with courage. So as the team takes the field, feel the energy, feel the pride. This is the Sipitao, call of the warriors, the sound of unity and the power of our people.
Okay, we want to thank our freshmen, our JV, and everyone that has worked for these young men on those two performances. And again, a special thank you to Senita Thomas, our Poly Day chair for this year.
welcome back to Brady Family Stadium here on the site of Serra and St. Francis. Evan Giddings and Stephen Shea with you here on Bay Area Sports TV. 17-14, a whirlwind of a first half, Shea, and primarily due to the 6 turnovers we saw, 4 for Serra and 2 for St. Francis.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sloppy, obviously, as far as the turnovers were concerned. I mean, the kids both came out and sold out on both ends of the field for both teams, and a lot of pride here with these two programs, but a little sloppy on the penalties for St. Francis and Serra, putting the ball on the ground on I think 4 occasions,
yeah.
and some of those things are obviously forced, but it's definitely concerning for both teams here. We definitely have a ball game now, right? I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's probably come up another 10 plus degrees here, so it's hot on this field. There's no wind, so the kids are going to be playing in a hot environment, and this means a lot here. This is the second half for who's going to come out and stay kind of in charge in this league right now for fighting for who's in charge position-wise in league play, and so this is a big second half for both teams.
Yeah, Serra at 3-0 in the WCL, St. Francis at 2-1. So big implications involved in this middle of the league type of matchup. And 2 of the top 4 teams by many people's estimations across the entire peninsula. So as Serra gets set to kick off to St. Francis, deferred at the beginning, they will start to the second half. A 48-second .3, 33-yard touchdown catch by Max Haberlock is what got St. Francis in the end zone to trim the deficit from 17-14. So they have a chance, Shea, to potentially lap, in the words of a Kyle Shanahan, Serra as they begin the second half.
Well, and also it's just gotten a little sleepy here. I mean, we had an amazing Polynesian celebration at halftime, but the music and everything is pretty calming, and they need to get everything fired back up here for Serra. They need to fire it up.
So Saul Marks kicks to the opposite end of the end zone. And it is going to be first down and 10 from the 20-yard line. And so Marks, who was perfect in that first half as well, except for an extra point blocked right now, the sole separation of 3 points between these two teams. So again, a little bit of a sloppy first half for both sides, and we'll see the type of adjustments that both veteran head coaches, obviously Patrick Walsh for Serra and Greg Calgano for St. Francis, have made. And also, one of the primary factors, or lack thereof, in the first half for St. Martin's was the running game. Just 15 carries for 46 yards as a team, as the first give of the second half goes absolutely nowhere as Keana Aina is swallowed up by the Serra defensive line.
Yeah, they're trying to run behind big John Fafita over there off that right side, but Serra shooting the gaps over there and just figuring out a way to get in here and cause a problem and get St. Francis in the backfield.
Also to play, second down.
Looked like the pursuit there from Serra, and Motu Keana Aina just 15 yards in that first half. Meanwhile for Serra, Isaiah Singleton, along with a bevy of backs, have really put the hurting on the ground on their offensive side of the football. Cumbie turns and gives, and once again stood up at the line of scrimmage as Serra stampedes through. And a massive play on a tackle for loss.
53, too. I mean, 53's been all over the field today, and he's just causing all kinds of problems in the backfield.
Yeah, him and Fahoko right there to team up, putting interior pressure on this St. Francis running game. And after 2 runs, they have gone backwards twice, and it is third down and 13.
So kind of a forced passing situation here. They're 3 outside here on this left side. Let's see if they're going to try to spread them out here.
Haberlock on the near side is their deep threat. Cumbie looks that way. He's going to have to tuck it, and now he'll look to run it. He's got a lot of space, and he's got more than enough for the first down as he sidesteps Medina and barrels his way forward for 17.
I mean, he's had success, and that's how they scored their touchdown. He took off late down on the goal line, and here he's wide open. There's nobody out there, and he's just running loose here for about 20 yards and a first down.
Had over-the-top help on Haberlock, who hurt them deep again to end that first half. And so Comby just took it and tucked it between his arms, ran for an easy first down all the way to the 35.
Yeah, that's if you're St. Francis, you're not happy about that. You had them just basically stopped deep in their own end.
So now in the backfield, it is Keana Aina. He takes it, looks left, tries to wiggle through a couple of blue jerseys, runs into two more. The final tackle made by Goldbeck as the junior safety wrestles him to the ground for a gain of 2.
Yeah, it's tough sledding in the middle there. Here's the run. Kind of cuts it back up into the middle here and runs into a bunch of blue jerseys, but nice run, picking up about 3 or 4 yards.
Well, and right now, going forward is a running play that's been better than the first 2. Colby in that first half, 7 of 13 for 96 yards and the 33-yard touchdown score. Was sacked a pair of times in the first half by the Serra defense. Hand off to Keana Aina as he's got to run for the first down. Again into Goldbeck, but that is an 8-yard carry. Move those chains.
Yeah, good thing Goldbeck was there because that would have gone to the house. He had a lot of room, kind of breaks it back over here to the left side of the line of scrimmage, and I think it was designed to go to the right side. It was taken away by 53 and cuts it back over to that left side of the line and found enough yardage to pick up the first down.
And now this is Kaimani Keana Aina, not Motu Keana Aina, his fellow brother, who we saw get and tote the rock quite a bit in the first half. Motu Keana Aina has not had a ton of success. Kaimani, meanwhile, also has helped out on defense as Cumbie dials up the deep ball, and it is complete at the 20-yard line. Making the catch is Sean Walsh, and he is gone. A 54-yard strike, and St. Francis has their first lead. And that's all the way back in the first.
And that's that same play they like to look for, just that kind of go route down the right side, sets his feet, knows he's going to go there the whole time. It's funny, they kind of collected themselves, and then he readjusted better than Serra's defender there and takes it all the way in for the touchdown. Big play for St. Francis.
Cornell James, the closest man there. CJ James just unable to make that play.
Yeah, St. Francis kind of looked up in the air. Both players looked up in the air and tried to adjust, and then St. Francis right away realized this ball is going to be plenty long enough, and he took off, and great play up the right side.
Lucas Vaughn in for the extra point, and it is good. And so St. Francis, just about 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, has themselves a touchdown. And again, the deep ball, not once but now twice, has hurt the Serra secondary.
I mean, when you watch tape on St. Francis, they're not afraid to throw the football down the field, and they love the dropping back and firing it down the right side. We talked about that in the first half. They went searching once inside the 30. We even said, watch out, they're going to look for that right corner of the end zone, and they delivered. And here, Coach Calcano says, you know what, let's dial up at something else here. Let's go back to that play that's been working, and then fire deep down the right side and hook up for a huge play for St. Francis to get some points on the board and now take the lead in this game.
I mean, you called it out, Shay, in that first half, what they were going to try and do at around that 30-yard line. This time, they were on their own side of the field as the play that sort of extended the drive to give Cumbie that opportunity was his own legs. A 3rd down and 14 pinned deep in their own territory. No one covered the quarterback, and Cumbie had a 17-yard run that eventually then led to that score.
Yeah, and Cumbie did the same thing early in the game. He was trapped, didn't have anything, and decided to tuck it and run to that left side of the corner and got to the end zone. This time, he knew exactly where he was going with the football.
So Cumbie, 3 total touchdowns, 2 through the air and 1 on the ground, as Marks will kick it off. And all the way back at his own 7-yard line, it's going to be taken by Aparicio. Up the gut he goes, following a couple blockers, sprung at the 30 to the 40-yard line. He's going to go. Aparicio down the sideline. Can he outrace his final man? Aparicio is going to take this one to the house.
Wow. And here comes some fired up music here, and got the crowd finally to wake up here for Serra. Holy cow, what a play. Kick came off very strange. It was spinning kind of sideways. He gets it on that left side, and he's just taking his time. Now he comes up the middle and just Wow, look at the moves up the middle, and he just decides to drop it right here into overdrive and takes it to the house. Unbelievable for Serra to get some points back on the board and retake the lead in this game.
A 92-yard return for Jaden Aparicio, the senior speedster on special teams.
Yeah, Jaden, man, he came in late, filled in for Charlie Walsh in that second half, and took a ball and actually had a nice return late in that second half, and then starts off this, second quarter, and then start off this second half now, take 92 yards to the house. Unbelievable play for Serra.
So a couple of quick strikes between both teams, offense and special teams. And this is where Serra has had a little bit of an advantage. We talked about it with Coach Walsh, the fact that their special teams unit is not just represented by Saul Marks. Yes, he's a great kicker, but right now the return game has also been a major factor. The 51-yard return from Walsh that set up their first touchdown, and now a literal touchdown to begin the second half. Special teams in many ways has been somewhat of an equalizer for Serra.
Yeah, I mean, Serra usually has a nice advantage with Marks as the weapon kicker. You know, you don't get a top 10 kicker to show up and just fire the rock around the field at will, and he does that for Serra. He's a weapon here, as we haven't even seen any returns possible for St. Francis, because he kicks it out of the back of the end zone.
That's a fantastic point, where St. Francis has to give Serra the opportunity. Serra does not have to return the favor, and I expect we'll see a little more of the same here, as Marks, with 8 minutes and 14 seconds left, has already seen 14 points go on the board between both sides. He'll send it end over end.
Oh. This
one a little bit shorter than accustomed, but still in the end zone, and it's a touchback. Relatively windless day here at Brady Family Stadium. A fantastic 74 degrees. A little hotter down there on the turf, but a picture-perfect afternoon.
It's a lot hotter down there. It's starting to heat up in this booth. Last week we had the AC running in the booth, and we forgot to call the wrong. We didn't call the right person for the AC today. I don't know what's happened, but we could use a little AC in the booth. If anybody's out there listening, outside of a nice pizza and a cold pitcher of beer, we could use some AC.
Oh, that might be after the game, Shane, after the game. But it's nice to see you brought your Hawaiian shirt for Polynesian Day, maybe keeping you a little cooler than usual.
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys about our gift we got for Coach.
So Cumbie, the sophomore, back under center, I formation for St. Francis. It's Kiana Aina once again. He is going to be drilled to the ground. Aaron Meyer, the senior linebacker, came stampeding through for a loss of 1.
Yeah, Aaron Meyer wasn't having it, and actually I think Kiani is still down.
Yeah, Kiana Aina looks like perhaps a Charlie horse. He's
or a cramp. They're like stretching him.
Yeah, both legs it looks like.
Man, that was a hit. Yeah, so we were talking about, I had a chance, Coach Walsh played with my brother, Pete Shea, and they class of 93 from De La Salle High School, and they were best friends, and my brother, unfortunately, passed away in a surfing accident, legendary big wave surfer. He was a middle linebacker and best friends with Coach Walsh, and so we started a foundation called the Grandfather Foundation in his honor and to help families through early tragic loss. And we did a great shirt, a Polynesian shirt today in honor of my brother, Live Like Pete, number 44. Serra 2 years ago dedicated their season to my brother. We had an amazing ceremony out here at Coach Walsh read off and did some stickers on the helmets. And anyway, Coach Walsh has been a longtime friend of the Shea family, and it was great to see him. He ripped his shirt off and put his Polynesian shirt on during walkthrough this morning, and definitely emotional to watch him have the Live Like Pete on the back of his jersey with the 44. So we're going to present that to the De La Salle linebacker Bubba Vargas this coming week, and in a ceremony, and Live Like Pete. May my brother's honor, and his heart and his magical presence and all his work he did with the kids live on forever.
Well, that is very cool, and obviously as you see Walsh pacing the sidelines, something that hits home for him as well. So
yeah, he doesn't have his Polynesian shirt on. He went back to his normal dull coaching shirt, but he does have the cool Polynesian necklace going today. Sometimes he likes to ride up and pull up his sleeve. He's got so much passion. 25 years, Coach Walsh here at St. Francis, and he's really built this program, and he loves the kids. There's a very spiritual aspect to this as well. The boys are super connected. There's a brotherhood, and it's all because of Coach Walsh. He's just an amazing, amazing guy, and my brother was lucky to call him, one of his best friends.
Well, wearing the lei today for Polynesian Day. During halftime, we had members of the Serra, I believe, freshman class perform a haka, a Polynesian sort of spiritual dance, if you will, in honor of the day, in which they put on an awesome performance. And in the meantime, it looks like Kaimani Keanaaina has made his way to the sidelines, so was helped by his brother Motu as well, who is into the game and at the right hip of Drew Cumbie. He'll take the snap on 2nd down and 11, rolls out to his right, fires high over the head of his intended target, Dom Ateza.
Yeah, way too high there. That's kind of the first time that he's been surprisingly off target. Had a lot of momentum going out to the right side there, and when he did fire it, it was just too high. Here it is on the replay. He's settled in, and this ball just got away from him. I mean, Mutombo couldn't have caught that one.
Labrador was in the area, but didn't need a lot of help to watch that one sail out of bounds. So once again, it is 3rd and long for Serra. For St. Francis. And Serra has not been able to get them off the field in these situations. Right before the half, it was a 3rd and 11, a 14-yard catch made by Haberlock. And right before, on the previous drive, it was a 17-yard run by Cumbie to extend the drive. So here we go. Pressure comes. It's Henley. Henley is going to force an incompletion as the ball is thrown out of bounds. And he is ruled down as a sack will drive St. Francis back even further.
Wow. Henley came off that left side. Here he comes. He shot out of a cannon, and he is flying. I mean, he closed the gap like a cheetah, throws him down, and right away, I think he got it off, actually, and they called him down. So, big play. God, Coach Walsh has got to just love having him back on the field. He is a problem.
Plays that sort of center field position all over in the secondary, second level, and this time they bring him off the edge to help force the sack. I'm kind of with you. Looked like he got it off, but either way, it was going to be 4th and long. So it is 4th and 18 now, forcing a punt as we approach the 7-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. Serra on top after the 92-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So Marks will take the punt.
Fake.
And he's going to fake it. He's going to run it up the gut, and he's going to run into a big body and drilled at the 20-yard line. That was Peyton Thomas who made the stop. St. Francis came nowhere close, and that was a heck of a gamble that Serra spoiled.
Wow, Peyton Thomas, watch this. This is a big, big guy. He sees him already right out of the gate. He sees him, and he's like, I'm going to try to go close this gap, and bam, where are you going? Give me that football. Holy cow. That's a big play. I mean, that is a gutsy call by St. Francis, punting out of their basically own end zone and faking it. And it wasn't like he had to just pick up 4 or 5 yards.
He had to get 18. I'm going to kindly call that an ambitious play call. That turns it over on down. Now 1st and 10 for the 20-yard line. It is going to be the freshman Will Orr who keeps it, wiggles through a couple of defenders, and then lunges for a gain of 7 as he slices his way up the gut.
Yeah, good play there by Orr because he sees, they watch the replay here. St. Francis blew this up, and if he had given it away to Singleton, it would have been loss in a backfield, and so Orr keeps it and gets an extra 5 yards there, maybe even 6.
Got around the big Miles Day at 6'3", 200 pounds, Orr giving up, well, about that.
Yeah, known as MDZ to his teammates. Just kidding. I'm coming up with nicknames.
Having a little bit of fun here. Serra trying to do the same. Singleton goes right up the middle as well and follows a big block from Xander Grayson, the 270-pound tackle. Brings him into at about the 6-yard line. And so it's going to be 1st down and goal for the Padres.
1st and goal, Padres.
So a fresh set of downs just outside that 5-yard line. And St. Francis could use a goal line stand similar to the one that Serra got all the way back in the first quarter. Singleton in the backfield looking for a play call, so is Orr. Now they have it and they bring a man in motion. Orr looks right, has a couple of blockers, tries to follow the convoy, but does not go anywhere as he is dragged down. And St. Francis's Leonidas Perry made the tackle.
Yeah, that was just not going to develop for Serra at all there. I mean, they blew it up the middle. I think that's where they were originally looking to go, and then he just gets spread out here, and St. Francis wasn't having it. Oh, jeez. Chase Cahoon. If he comes and if he gets to line up on you, watch out. He lays the wood.
So now they go back to this jumbo package in which Dofa'o is going to be the signal caller. It's a pitch, and going up the middle that time is Takapalatolo, but he does not go anywhere. And looked like that time in on the play was Nate Greasy.
Yeah, late. They were late. A late defender lineman coming in for St. Francis. They're lucky they didn't run it to the left side because he was completely late and out of position there.
And Tavita Vea as well, 5'11", 275, the defensive tackle, making it difficult for Serra to go anywhere. 3rd down and goal from the 5.
Same format here, this big jumbo package.
Dofa'o takes the snap. It's a handoff to Haley. Pardon me, it's a fake, and he fooled everyone as he trots in for 6.
Wow, great play call there. That was pretty special right there. Coach Bell, offensive coordinator, dialing up just a sweet play call for Serra. Little misdirection, quarterback keeper. One of your best athletes on the team. It's just going to be a sprint to the corner. Can you beat me there? And then the case for St. Francis, no one was going to catch him.
Malachi Doafo, I mean, really is between him and Day. And Day unable to set that edge as Malachi just maneuvers his way to the edge and gets in for a 5-yard touchdown. An extra point away from a 10-point lead. This would be tied for the largest of the afternoon, and as usual, Saul Marks is true. So 31-21 with 4:32 left. However, there is a Padre down on the field at the 2-yard line.
Cramping. And it's funny. We've been doing games here this whole season, and they play at 1:30 in the afternoon, and always in the second half, the kids are all cramping up. I don't know. They might have to just get a whole couple jars of pickle juice at halftime and try to figure this out because it happens to both teams.
The original Gatorade.
That's right.
So while they check on who it looks like Charlie Music, who's going to be helped off the field here by the athletic training staff. I mean, so this was the situation, Shay, that Serra faced in the first half. They go up 17-7 after a 32-yard field goal with about 3 minutes left in the first half. But St. Francis, who has been a team that has come from behind, double-digit trailing, I should say, turned into a victory last week against Mitty. This is the point of the game where if Serra could get a defensive stand, the separation, this is the moment where a team that is undefeated, that has their eyes set on a potential matchup down the road with Reardon for the WCL. This is the kind of situation where you would like to see them begin to impose their will.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I think St. Francis has got to show that they can kind of sync up on some drives and really put a nice drive together here. Or Evan, I agree with you. I mean, you're in a spot right now where Serra could take some full control here if they stop you early in this next possession. You gotta put a drive together.
And that is into the end zone for a touchback by Marks. Now, I mean, you got to credit the resiliency of St. Francis, but they've done it a lot on the back of big plays. And not always sustainable are those kinds of 30, 40, 50-yard strikes. Those deep balls have been very well delivered by Cumbie, but can you rely on them is the question.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what you got to do here. You got to prove to yourself that when they drove basically the length of the field against Mitty to win by a 1 point, they had to put a drive together like this, and this is a big deal. Even if you could just flip the field position here and try to play down on this end now going into the fourth quarter, they got to figure out a way here to put a drive together. or put some points on the board, but they cannot rely on these, these huge 30 and 40-yard hookup plays. That's not going to get it done for them.
So it's going to be a give right here to Motu Keanaaina in for his brother Kaimani, who was injured during the last drive, and he has a nice first down run of about 4.
Yeah, and I mean, just being fortunate enough to call the games for Serra, and if you try to run kind of up the middle against this stout line, it's really tough sledding, and it doesn't matter who's here. De La Salle, when they were here, they got tired of trying to pound it up the middle, and they ran it off the edges, and they had some success there, but it's tough sledding trying to go up the middle on these guys.
Yeah, Tofahava Fahoko. Speaking of Fahoko, he nearly forces an interception as it went through the hands of both Henley as well as the defensive back Labrador.
Henley and Labrador sounds like two great pups you could take for a run on the beach, but my God, Henley tips it with his hand, and then Labrador comes in and oh my God, he had it right in his hands, but I think he was already out of bounds. Great play by Henley once again. He covers a lot of ground out there.
Not an easy throw, by the way, by Cumbie. He nearly fit that in over the top, throwing against his body with a 255-pound beast bearing down upon him.
And an all-pro safety trying to go over the top of Henley.
So 3rd down and 5 now. Keanaaina in the backfield, dot to the eye. It's a pitch to him. He runs right, gets a nice block from Fajita, and he's going to charge forward, but he does not have enough for the first down as the Serra defensive line once again comes up big.
Yeah, nice job by Henley setting the edge out there. He cracked back in and got to the legs there of Fajita. So now we're got a chance here. If you're St. Francis, I don't know if they're choosing to punt the ball here or.
Well, they brought out the special teams unit last time, but it was a fake, and we'll see if Greg Calgano kind of learned his lesson. See, it's interesting, Shay, because this would be a situation where you think, okay, now you could fake it.
Right.
Or now you might go for it, but instead they chose on a 4th and 18, pinned all the way back close to their 15-yard line on the previous drive to go for it. Did not work out, and 4 plays later, Serra found themselves in the end zone.
Is that Charlie Walsh back there?
It is. Walsh along with Smith.
They took 22.
And there's going to be a delay of game penalty against St. Francis. That's going to back them up. So a couple of extra yards to operate with for Serra's special teams unit. And so St. Francis just does punt that away, sort of a spinning low kick that's picked up by Brody Smith after a couple of bobbles, and he's going to speed forward beyond the 40-yard line as he gets careened into his own bench. A nice return there from Brody Smith, and again, great field position for Serra.
Yeah, that was a little dicey there for a second because it kind of bounced around on him. I didn't know if he was going to be able to corral it. He did, and then he danced up the right sideline and got some yardage. Here it is. Here, you watch it. Wasn't able to field it very cleanly, and right there I was like, uh-oh. But here, that slide move right there bought him an extra 15 yards, maybe even 20, 15, 18 yards up the field. Nice play.
So the freshman Will Orr, who again started this game, there was a fumble on the first play, then came out. We saw Brandellen. We've seen the combination of Tofa'o, also under center at times today for Serra. Orr has it to begin this drive. Looks right, fires deep. He's got a man open, and it is incomplete. Had a man, it was Aparicio, and it looked like Max Haberlock in pursuit, got to the ball just in time to knock it away.
Yeah, late throw here. He held on to it a little too long. I mean, great idea. He was locked on from the beginning. It just took forever to get there and allowed St. Francis to get back. And great play on defense there for St. Francis, but the ball was late.
Haberlock making plays both offense and now as well on defense.
And 22 looking like he's pointing to his left shoulder.
Came down hard on it. He was the same player that had the 92-yard kickoff return for the score before their last drive. 2nd down and 10 here from the 36-yard line. And Orr nearly lost it as it looked like he was trying to deliver it to Singleton, and then had to keep it, and stampeding through to make the play and tackle for loss was McCoy.
Loss on the play. Third down.
So apologies there. Tackle for loss on the play by McCoy. He's going to back Serra back up about 5 yards. So third down and long. This would be a big stop for St. Francis's defense if they can get the Padres off the field. Or takes it, has some time, and now pressure comes, and he's going to get wrestled down. There's a flag, however, might be against Serra, but for now it's going to be a sack. Judah Reed on the stop.
I don't know. They might have caught him for a face mask. I don't know if they did. Let's look here if he does catch him with the face mask, or they're going to get a hold.
I think it could be either.
Ooh, I think it's a. Well, we'll see what they call here.
This could be a potentially disastrous penalty, and it's a face mask against St. Francis. So what was a sure sack is going to turn into a fresh set of downs.
It was only a 5-yard face mask, or. That's an interesting walk-off of the penalty. I didn't understand.
Apologies, Shay. So it's effectively a replay of downs. And we'll see if Serra can take advantage. Kind of a tight formation here. See Walsh over there to the left, and there's a delay of game that's going to make things increasingly more difficult.
He doesn't even look like he walks back 5 yards.
So third down and 20.
Walks it back 3.5 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with a 10-point lead, you wonder how aggressive Serra is going to get here, especially considering they have fumbled 4 times in this game. And Orr has been responsible, or at least in the middle of a pair of them. Orr is going to at least try and play it safe for now. Rolls out to his left, is going to throw across his body. It's complete, out of bounds, is making the catch, but right on the chalk was Charlie Walsh.
Yeah, I just really didn't. I mean, great job by St. Francis. They locked everybody up. Orr didn't have anything. And at the last minute, lets it go. And just a little too late out to the sideline, almost synced up there. I don't think that would have affected anything. Would have made an easy field goal decision instead of a punt.
Well, and that's kind of the issue with some of those penalties is, you're almost on the edge of field goal range the moment you get the ball, right there at the 36-yard line.
Right. When Marks is, he's pounding them through at halftime from the 50-yard line.
So Marks is going to be out there to punt. And back to return for St. Francis, it is Oteza. So taking it and dropping a punt at the 20-yard line with a slightly favorable roll for Serra. It's going to head out of bounds at about the 14-yard line.
That was an interesting punt. That's not his normal. Kind of came off his foot a little funny off the left side there, but Coach Walsh giving him a high five, pinning St. Francis down here inside the 15-yard line with, am I reading that correctly, 7:03?
103.
Oh, 103, sorry. 103
seconds.
in the third quarter, my bad.
Well, I'll tell you what, you were spot on about this. Shea right now, pardon me, Coach Marks has one of those sleeves rolled up. I know you talked about
Walsh.
the patented
Coach
look.
Walsh. Yeah, Coach Walsh, he loves that. I mean, he if you look down the line, some of his other coaches now like to try to copy him, but he's the OG of showing off the guns, and he gets his team fired up. I think he's ready to get back out there and get in there. He's a fiery competitor.
Yeah, he might have been putting in some work in before the game. Well, the music lasts a little long, but Cumbie dials up the deep ball, and it is going to be up in the air, incomplete, trying to connect with Holloway, and a gorgeous effort in coverage by Serra's Labrador.
Yeah, Labrador has had a great game today. They kind of settled in, both of them. I mean, that was a hope and a prayer down the left side. I mean, that could have gone either way. Labrador's watching it, but they're both fighting over position, and Labrador does a great job by getting his left hand up there and knocking it down. But that ball was late.
Giving up some size to the 6'2", 280-pound Holloway, but did not make a difference. And so, again, we touched on it at the prior drive. How is St. Francis going to move the ball if not for those chunk plays? They have not gotten the running game going, less than 50 yards net in the first half alone.
Alatini, number 32, is somebody they like to go to. They're looking over there now.
Cumbie has to roll out to his right. He's pressured by the Padres. He slings it into his own bench out of play.
He got hit late on that sideline, went down on the track.
Yeah, 53 has been in pursuit for Serra early and often. And Cumbie seems a little shaken up. In fact, he's going to head to the sideline. So on 3rd down and 10, they're going to go to their backup quarterback as well as captain, Andrew Franzino.
Yeah, I'm surprised Franzino hasn't. He had a little unfortunate. The ball snapped over his head. He really hasn't had any or much action at all, if any, today. And he's the senior.
No, pardon me,
Cumbie's back.
Re-entered the huddle. So went to the sideline, got a quick checkup, back in with Kiana Aina right behind him. 3rd and long at their own 10. Cumbie. 4-man rush, steps up in the pocket, has plenty of space, and he's going to run for a first down and much more. Across the 30-yard line, he slides right in front of Medina, and that is nearly a 20-yard gain.
I mean, he's done that the whole game. I mean, this is a big down here for Serra to kind of lock him up and keep him down on this end of the field, and they just let Cumbie loose, and you can't really, I mean, anytime you've let him loose, he's able to hurt you for some big chunk plays and first downs.
So a clock ticking, 30 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter, as it appears that St. Francis headed towards the 4th with a 10-point deficit. We'll probably get one playoff before then. I formation. 4 men in the line of scrimmage, 8 in the box for Serra. It's a turn and a handoff to Kiana Aina. He's got some room to the left side as he sidesteps a secondary member and then is brought down by Medina after a gain of 10 and a first down, which will carry us to the 4th.
Yeah, number 30 is a freshman out there for Serra. Watch him come and finish this playoff, and he is fun to watch play football. The coaching staff just loves number 30. He's always in the mix. It's nice to have a freshman out there flying around on your varsity football team on defense.
CJ Aho, the final tackle of the 3rd quarter, as we go now to the 4th. Evan Giddings, Stephen Shea with you here on Bay Area Sports TV. The final quarter between Serra and St. Francis on the other side.
Come together and show your appreciation to these two teams.
So to begin the 4th quarter, 1st down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Cumbie, as he's hit, fires it up the middle, and it is in and out of the hands of his intended target. Sean Walsh had it in his mitts. A play made, perhaps dislodged by Labrador, but that was a near big completion.
Oh, there's no confusing. It was dislodged by Labrador. Here he comes. This was actually on target and going to be a play here, and Labrador says, well, actually, maybe Labrador didn't. Labrador was there for the tackle, but that bounced off his hands. He should have had that.
Walsh had the 54-yard touchdown to begin the 2nd half, which sort of, pushed St. Francis into the forefront. Their 2nd and currently final lead so far. They right now trail by 10. 14 unanswered points since that time by the Serra Padres. Here's a handoff, Kiana Aina. He has nowhere to go, as in the backfield, it looked like Peyton Thomas was first to the football.
Yeah, it's You got a lot of playmakers up there in that line of scrimmage, and the backers and the safeties. Everybody's kind of keying on right now. They're not going to let you run right here.
On the stop, they're down.
Now, Bucky Latu also in on the stop. I mean, it's just so much beef up front for the Padres. It has been a tall task for St. Francis today to run the football. Their longest run was actually the play right before the end of the third quarter. It's been just 10 yards.
Yeah, and they put the freshman Latu 92 over here against Big John, and he's causing some problems.
Cumby's going to go up high, and that is not even close. I mean, just absolutely blanketed Stefania Alatini that time, and running stride for him with him over there on that sideline was C.J. James.
Yeah.
So tried to put something together on third down. Is going to bring up 4th and long.
I love 55 for the Padres. Fiocco, he's off the field right now, but anytime he's in there after a play, he's not afraid to let him have a little chatter and let him know why they're not moving the football.
So for St. Francis, it's going to be Wante Pifiletti that's going to punt this one. Again, tried a fake punt 2 possessions ago as they needed an extra man, and sprinting quickly onto the field is Kyle Smith, but not before a delay of game is going to back them up 5 yards. So St. Francis, again, the penalties, and that time just sloppiness, quite frankly, cost them 5 yards.
Yeah, that's just got to be so frustrating right there. They're pulling them off the field now. Got to be ready to go here. If you're a player, you got to be knowing what down it is and if you need to be on the field.
Well, I don't think it's been a coincidence that when St. Francis has not had a penalty on offense, the 2 drives that has occurred, they have scored touchdowns, but self-inflicted wounds, as Brody Smith will take it at his own 15-yard line, has some space to operate towards his own sideline. To the 40 he goes. He spins out of the hands of one man and is going to move all the way towards midfield. A nice return of 24 yards as the marker comes in at the end.
Miles Day making this stop.
Well, here's the return here. They set up well, and there's some 72 could have easily done a crackback block, and he didn't. Something happened at the end there where Henley went down and he was being talked to, and he got up and made the good decision not to do anything there, and Coach Walsh congratulated him on keeping his head there.
And it's a penalty against St. Francis.
Yeah, I think that might have been the extra chatter at the end of that play.
So a taunting call moves the ball into Lancers territory as Serra takes over at the 36-yard line. And it is going to be Bandel that is quarterbacking this drive with Singleton at his right hip. Takes a snap, hands off to Singleton.
Ooh.
Singleton goes up the gut, and he is met by Cahoon. No gain on the play.
God, you can see why Cahoon's going to Stanford. He is a baller. Oh, here's the end of that last play where they called the penalty. Oh, now we're back out of it.
Second down.
Here's the hit by Cahoon up the middle. Singleton thinking he's got something, and you just do not see that this year where Singleton gets hit so hard that he backs up. That just has not happened this year.
A credit to Chase Cahoon. I don't think he has hit someone and gone backwards today. I mean, every time the ball carrier has stopped where Cahoon has met them.
Yeah, he's bringing a little Ronnie Lott flair to the game today.
He's forced a fumble, one of the 4 turnovers for Serra, all of which in the first half they've been clean here in the second. As Bandel rolls out to his right, points down the field, it's going to fire, incomplete.
Yes, incomplete.
Over the head of Walsh, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Bringing number 10 on. I wonder if Bandel will come off the field. Nope, they're not. He's going to put 10 in out there at receiver.
Yeah, Malachi
Tuafu.
He had the 5-yard touchdown run here in this second half. They've gone to sort of that jumbo non-quarterback formation multiple times today. Bandel's going to get this look here, though, on 3rd down and long. Pressure comes from St. Francis. Mandel steps up in the pocket, has room to run, has to make one man miss, but cannot, and is going to be cut down short of the line to get. That was a gorgeous tackle made by Judah Halapua.
And now it's time to show off the kicking strengths here by Marks. He's just going to, this is a layup for him. I mean, 48-yarder?
Yeah, and to your point, you saw in that replay there, perhaps Bandel knowing if he just moves forward, this is a layup, like you said, for Marks. Special teams has been a weapon and perhaps the deciding factor in this football game today as Marks gets it up and quickly pushes it through. From 48 yards, he connects a perfect field goal and gives Serra a 34-21 lead.
Yeah, I mean, in high school football, you just don't have that as an option. Where 48-yarder is like, yeah, you know what? Absolutely, we're going to go kick this immediately. And that's the luxury of having Marks as your kicker for St. Francis. I mean, for Serra. They can come running out and just pop a little 48-yarder right there.
Well, he is perfect on field goals today. Did have an extra point blocked, but Marks has been money this entire season. Just a couple of misses for him. Obviously, the multiple 50-yard field goals that, like you said, Shay, just at this level, that is not a given. I know in the NFL they make 50-yarders look easy, but Marks, even at this age, does something similar.
Yeah, he really does.
And so now a near full 2-touchdown lead for Serra. Again, in a game with massive implications for the WCL. I know that Coach Walsh in our conversation was talking about, this is a team that has gone through some formidable circumstances with the early losses, but they're still taking it one game at a time, and it's a big reason why they've flipped an 0-3 start into now potentially a perfect start through 4 games to league play.
Yeah, Coach Walsh did not want to look ahead at all. He's going to take these 2 games versus St. Francis and Mitty and Bellarmine. He wants to take them all very seriously.
Tuilela takes it out from his own 5-yard line, sidesteps a man at the 20-yard line, and then is pushed forward past the 25. And now if you are St. Francis, with 9 minutes left in the ball game, not necessarily in need of a score, but this is a drive after 3 in a row where you have not put anything together. In fact, a couple have been 3 and outs. You'd like to see them at least push it beyond midfield.
Well, I know there's about 2,000 or 3,000 people here who could pay a lot of money if the fog would just roll in too.
Yeah, sun's beginning to get a little lower. Yeah. And there's quite a few sweaty hats in front of us.
If you're, Irish heritage, this has gotten way too hot out here.
Well, on Polynesian Day, I think there's also a few that are quite used to it. Here's Cumbie, who rolls out to the right, is going to throw, and that is nearly caught. I actually don't know how Haberlock even got close to that ball, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that ball got away from him again there, just a little too wide. If he'd put it on him, you would have been able to pick this up. He's got to he's throwing on the run, and he's letting this thing go, and it's getting away from him. They're all high, and they're not on target, and kind of surprised they're not trying the senior.
I mean, they did have a big drop on their last drive. Walsh down the middle, that would have flipped the field. But again, this is what we've discussed, their big playability. How sustainable was it going to be moving into the second half? They've had 1 big touchdown, and that's been it. As the catch is made out near the sideline by Haberlock, the hit delivered by Henley, it's a gain of 5.
And there's the live arm right there by Cumbie. He fires it out there. He locked onto his target early, and he set his feet. He was just waiting, and then he lets it go, and it's moving. Nice ball, but about half of what they needed there, bringing up a 3rd down and 4, a long 4 yards here for a pretty crucial play here for St. Francis. I think they really got to get some points on this drive.
And if you're Serra, you have to be aware of Cumbie's ability to pick up the first down with his legs. He has extended a pair of drives on 3rd and longs by running. As pressure comes, he throws over the middle. It is complete at the line to get. The catch was made by Aaron Bonini. First catch of the day for him, and it's good enough for the first.
Yeah, great play there. Cumbie had to just he had a lot of pressure. He steps slightly up into this pocket, and he gets it away just in time. He had 2 blue shirts closing on him that nailed him as he let it go.
Yeah, James came on the corner blitz, and Cumbie did well to stand in the pocket and deliver that football. Arm strength has been there. The accuracy has fluttered, but the sophomore has done a fine job here this afternoon on the road in a hostile environment. Turns and hands off to Kiana Aina. He goes right through the middle, spins off one defender, moves past the 50-yard line, and now has room to run. 40, 35, 30, and is going to be dragged down at the 29-yard line.
Ooh, and 75 just came in with a late block and absolutely laid out number 10. Watch this, a great run here by St. Francis. I mean, bouncing off defenders and taking his time and moving up, breaks it out to the outside. Right here, I thought he could go, and then there was a late block on that play from, I believe, Apasal Fafita. I think he laid somebody out there at the end. He laid actually number 10. Tuafu got really drilled there at the end of that play. He got kind of lucky. You got this 6'6", 250-pound kid coming down at you full speed. So fortunate not to have anything bad happen there.
Well, by far and away the longest rushing play of the day, 31 yards for Motu Keana Aina. Again, replacing his brother Kaimani, who was injured early in this second half. In the backfield now, right next to Cumbie, it is Tuilela as a throw over the middle, goes to the running back out of the backfield. He scoots to the 20-yard line and is going to be close to a first down. Cumbie did well to get out of the way of danger and deliver it to his tailback.
First time I've seen St. Francis go to that play, and that's a play that they've used against Reardon and against Midi, kind of that delayed screen action, sometimes directly over the middle, but they just drop it, they let everybody rush, and that really worked nicely for him there, and it did in the last 2 games. It's the first time I've seen him go to it today, and I'm kind of shocked they haven't tried that a little more often.
Well, and a good sight for St. Francis as Kaimani Keana Aina just returned to the huddle, number 4 there on the back end. First time we've seen him since that lower leg injury he sustained in the third quarter. And now a timeout's going to be taken. So St. Francis will take its first of 3 with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 1 upcoming on the other side. But, you know, Shay, this is, I mean, we talked about it before the drive. St. Francis in kind of a gotta-have-it situation. They haven't obviously punched it in yet, but they are looking much differently on offense than they did their previous 3.
And it's the dreaded, 13-point lead here.
Yeah.
So, here you are in a rivalry game. St. Francis has been down the whole second half, but they're just down that dreaded 13 points. So if they put 7 points on the board here, they could really spoil an afternoon at Polynesian Day here at Brady Field with a late touchdown. So still dicey right now. You gotta find a way to see if you can stop them, force a field goal. If you're Serra, if you're St. Francis and you put 7 points on the game, on the board, now we're probably inside 5 minutes and we've got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, curious if this is going to become 4-down territory as the clock continues to dwindle. They led 7-0 and then 21-17. After that last score, Serra scored 13 unanswered as Cumbie looks for the end zone. He's got a man open, and it's Walsh! Makes the catch in the corner, and St. Francis strikes from 21 yards. They find pay dirt.
And that took 0 time off the clock, 4 seconds. And it's exactly what we were talking about. If they put points on the board here, we're now inside. We have a 6-point game, and this is actually not what Serra wanted, obviously. And just wide open. I can't believe. I don't know if there was zone coverage that was blown or what. Here's the replay here. Looks like they are zone coverage, and he just let them run right past him, and the safety was not able to get there in time.
3rd touchdown pass of the day from Cumbie, 2nd caught by Walsh. And all of a sudden, it is a 1-score game with the extra point upcoming. And like you mentioned, this is a big extra point. because Serra missed one, or I should say had one blocked earlier in the ball game. As before that one goes through, there's going to be a flag and delay of game on an extra point against St. Francis.
Yeah, that still shouldn't matter too much, but Tuafu, number 10, if you noticed, he was the free safety there that was late. Can't believe right now that Serra is letting these guys get to the corners of the end zone on them right now. You know that's where they like to throw the football. They were in a zone, I believe, and they just let him run wide open to the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, Walsh has been open a few times today, has been the recipient of a couple of big passes. First, the 54-yard touchdown catch and run with 8:30 left in the third. And as you just saw moments ago, from 21 yards out. So the kick from St. Francis is up, and it is good.
Yeah,
and
good
a
catch.
6-point ball game.
Good catch there. I mean, that snap was a little high, so able to get it down and get that extra point. And we got a 6-point ball game here with 6:02 left, so buckle up.
Well, we talked about it leading up into this game this entire week. You know, this is the game of the week in the league, and one that has massive implications for both sides down the line. St. Francis still in contention. Last year they went 6-1, tied for a share of the league championship. After a down year for Serra, they're looking to remain unbeaten, potentially moving to 4-0 with a win here today. So both sides, you know, pretty evenly matched on paper, though they only have a couple of common foes. You knew this rivalry game was going to be one that had some spice, and where St. Francis has been down multiple times by double-digit points each time they have had a response.
Well, I mean, basically, I don't know if it's the heat or what, but the crowd and the DJ have fell asleep here in the second half for Serra. I mean, it is crickets quiet over here. They got to wake up.
Well, maybe it's because during that last kickoff, I think the music went a little too long. Yeah. So, a little course correcting. Walsh is going to take it out from his 3. Walsh has got big playability, but he's got a little room to do it as he curls to the sideline and runs out at about the 19-yard line. So we've seen Walsh, again, just surveying the land, seeing if there was a crease. Good coverage on that time by St. Francis. And now with 5:53 left in the ball game, you know, we're going to see how well Serra can run the football when St. Francis knows it's coming. I mean, this is a team that we've seen, again, use multiple quarterbacks today, kind of almost like a wing T, if you will, to try and pick up yards on the ground. And we'll see which quarterback comes out of the huddle.
It might be that big heavy-set formation with Tuafu at quarterback. Looks like they're going to just set up in the jumbo package and run it right at you, like you said, Evan.
Yeah, Malachi, the junior, is the signal caller right now under center. He has a rushing touchdown today, has done some damage on the ground. It's a pitch to Singleton. Singleton's going to follow his big guard, Thomas, and he's going to rumble forward for a pair.
And they're going to try to just roll this clock right now. If they can get inside field goal position, they can put this game away with marks, but St. Francis knows what's coming, so they might try to stack the box here. Same heavy set formation where they've got Tuafu behind running quarterback.
I mean, they got 6 men on the line of scrimmage right now to St. Francis, 9 in the box, and before the pitch, there's a pre-snap penalty. Encroachment. That's going to cost St. Francis 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Evan, you've brought it up. I mean, just the penalties today against St. Francis, and when I had the call with Coach Calgano, I mean, that was one of his main things that he pointed out was turnovers and penalties. He's done a pretty good job on the turnover part, but penalties have killed him.
Yeah, closing in on double digits today on both sides of the ball. A double reverse to Walsh, and he's going to have the first down. Charlie Walsh, as Serra goes into its bag to move the chains.
Yeah, that's a fun play, and we were talking about that early in the broadcast when they messed up in the first series. They fumbled the ball on a flipping back and forth between, and that 3 guys touched the ball there in the backfield, and they did it seamlessly and got the first down.
And now out with a bit more space to the 34-yard line. Clock continues to tick. I mean, that is basically a perfect result for Serra. You get the first down, you keep the clock moving. Under center here, Dofao with a high pitch. Singleton hauls it in, sidesteps a man at the line of scrimmage, and is going to be pushed forward for near a first down, and I think he's got it.
And they got fortunate there. That was a great catch by Singleton because Tuafu fires the ball. Watch him turn around. We're a little late on the catch, but Singleton is just so tough. I mean, all year long. It didn't matter if he was playing Foothill or De La Salle or any of these other teams. Once he gets it up the middle, looks like Medina, number 0, the linebacker who's been playing like tackle.
Yeah.
Kind of hurt his foot there.
Almost an extra tight end, and so Aaron Meyer is going to check in. They replaced 225 with 200 pounds. And this offensive line, I mean, you got to give them credit. They have done a very good job against a pretty beefy defensive front for St. Francis. As now Orr is back in at quarterback for Serra. Man in motion is Singleton. He gets it, goes right through the middle, just follows a couple of blockers. As that time Fajoko led him for a pickup of 3. Singleton has just been so patient today.
Yeah, he is. He's fun to watch play football. He's a pro running back at the high school level. I mean, you see how he's built. He's so tough to get to the ground. He's patient, and he's surprisingly shifty. And if he gets a little space or gets a look upfield, watch out.
3 minutes and 20 seconds. Clock ticking here in the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 7. It's a handoff. It's Giovanni Henley. He's got the edge. He's got the first, and he's got more. Henley into the open field. Henley down the sideline. Henley's going to take it in.
Wow. I mean, we saw Henley do that in the first half. I didn't think they were going to have that much success by getting to the outside. I thought St. Francis would eventually try to get him out there on the edge, and they can't. Here's the replay here. Henley comes across the formation, and he's going to go wide. Well blocked here. You look how they seal the edge out there. And Henley just decides to throw it into overdrive, goes past Cahoon, and 32 didn't even see him. And it's a foot race, and Henley gets it done, gets it all the way to pay dirt.
And with 3:08 left, that might be the nail in the coffin as Henley from 48 yards out sprints in for Serra. Extra point good for Marks. It is 41-28 as Serra can taste victory now at the end, towards the end of this fourth quarter.
Marks just kicked it into the San Mateo neighborhood. He got a bunch of little kids back there waiting to catch it. And I'm always worried for them because they're at the fence line. Yeah. Well, that's a big play, like you said, Evan. I mean, we knew that they were going to pound the rock, and they did come out in that big boy heavy formation saying, okay, here we come, we're going to run the football. And then they gave him a little, they just changed it up slightly and said, okay, well, let's see if you can race us out to the edge of the field. And everybody's tired, everybody's been fighting, everybody's been pushing in the middle, and that was unbelievable. Great play call there by Ball, the offensive coordinator for Serra, changing it up and testing it out there. And that's a big play, like you said. I don't know if it's quite nail in the coffin since this is a rivalry game. You never know what can happen here.
Yeah, 2 scores, and St. Francis has absolutely been a team that can score in a hurry. I mean, as evident by their last drive, it only took 3 minutes and 4 plays, but still, Henley, he has been, and there's been a lot of playmakers on the field today for both teams, but he has done it all. Had the interception here in the second half. Henley has now scored 2 touchdowns on the ground, all of which in his return from a multi-week absence due to an illness. So they have been welcomed him back, and he has announced his presence as that goes through the end zone.
Jeez.
That might have been his best kick of the day.
I think so, too. That was just smooth right there. Well, here comes St. Francis. I think everybody knows with 3:08 left, they're going to try to throw the football. They don't really have time to run, and they're going to be in a hurry up. Probably see Serra drop back and have a deep shell here and not let them get anything too deep. They got a bunch of defensive backs on the field.
Yeah, and keeping them in bounds. I mean, St. Francis does have all 3 of its timeouts. Serra has, they have 2 timeouts. Had to use one in that at the beginning of the 4th quarter. And Serra has all 3 of theirs. Cumbie takes the snap, looks right, fires, and it is broken up. Nice play there from that was Meyer who stuck his hand in the middle of the pass.
Yeah, I still don't know what that sign is the kids do where they do the double Pac-Man. Somebody's got to tell me. Maybe he says he can talk right now, but he's not going to.
Well, I don't know.
Great play here. Hand up, blocks it.
Well, maybe it was one of those Pac-Man cherries, and he was just Meyer just gobbled it up. Cumbie looks left, fires that way. It's complete. That's Walsh. Gets out of bounds as well. That's a nicely executed pitch and catch between Cumbie and his tight end.
Yeah, Walsh is a fun player to watch play football. You throw anything his way, he's going to lock it down. And here he is on a little out route. Had to come back. The ball wasn't quite there, or else he would have had the first down.
So 3rd and short. Walsh has 2 touchdown catches today, both of which have been explosive plays beyond 20 yards or more. Cumbie with a clean pocket, looks again for Walsh. Up the sideline he goes, and James just escorts him out of bounds as it falls incomplete.
It's good to see Serra decided, you know what, we're not going to let anybody throw it up the sideline on us. You see some of the student section deciding that this point total with the time on the clock might be enough for them to go get a cold beverage somewhere and get out of the heat.
Yeah, I was going to say they might be headed to the pool.
Right. That's exactly where I'm headed after this.
2:51 remaining here in regulation. 41-28. Serra on top of St. Francis here in a big rivalry game, as a false start penalty is going to back them up on maybe the ball game essentially here on a 4th down.
Wow.
Those kinds of mistakes have unfortunately followed the Lancers, it seems like, the majority of the day.
And I just can't believe I'm about to say there's like a hint of a cool breeze coming through. Well, yeah, here we go. Is this 4th down? It is 4th down here. Big play of the game here for St. Francis. They got to pick this up if they want any chance of keeping this game alive.
Cumbie's going to work with 2 wide receivers, Haberlock along with Holloway on the right side, tight end to his left. Cumbie takes the snap into the backfield. It's Thomas. Thomas is going to drive him back, and Thomas is going to force the turnover on downs.
Wow, Thomas, what a game today. He's been in the backfield all day long. He's done this all season long. Look at him do the swim move over the top and just doesn't give Cumbie any time. By the time Cumbie dropped back, I mean, he had him right in his face. And a class act move, doesn't throw the quarterback to the ground, waits for the whistle. That could have picked up a penalty if he had done that. So real smart, headsy play. And that should lock it up here for Serra on their home field. Moving in the right direction here in league play.
Well, Peyton Thomas was a big part of that 4th down stop with 44 seconds left in the opening period. One of the biggest plays of the game, and now comes up immensely huge here in the 4th. 1st down and 10 from the 15-yard line, deep in St. Francis territory. It's Ord takes a snap, hands off to Singleton. Up the gut he goes. He backpedals and falls for a gain of 5.
And he just has a talent to do that. I mean, they knew he was coming up the middle. Here he goes here. He's going to get tripped up as he's almost facing backwards by the time he gets to the line of scrimmage. And he still stumbles back. Right here, he gets tripped. Picks up an extra 3 yards by keeping his balance. What an athlete.
2:20 clock ticking. 13-point lead for Serra here at home. Tried to remain perfect in league play. Or in the shotgun. Takes a snap. To Singleton it goes again. Singleton charges. Singleton carried. Singleton continues to churn the legs before he's eventually stopped after a gain of 4. He's going to have close, and they're going to give him the 1st down.
Really? God, he is tough. He can't get him to the ground. I mean, look, obviously he's got the big boys behind him pushing, but he just always keeps his footing. Big 59 in there pushing around.
Yeah, 5'9", 210 pounds, a lot of patience and power. A dangerous combination for the senior tailback in Isaiah Singleton.
Chase Morris in there, that left guard. He's had a great game today, pushing people around in the middle.
90 seconds remain here in the ball game. And now a timeout's going to be taken by Coach Walsh. So first one, 2 left for both sides now, but the clock officially stopped at 1:29.
Be interesting if he just kneels on it.
Success, tremendous food, great entertainment, especially to our Holiday 2025 chair, Samina Thomas, and everyone who helped make us success. Thank you.
Yeah, fun day here with Polynesian Day. The halftime show was great. The kids came out and did some Polynesian dancing to get the boys groups to get everybody fired up, get ready to get into some type of either wrestling or fist fight. It was great.
Yeah,
testosterone at halftime during a football game.
Pretty riled up, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it was fun, and it's been a great game today. St. Francis can still hold their heads up high. They've battled all day long to stay in this game.
And so Orr is just going to take a knee as Serra goes into victory formation. And for St. Francis, they led 21-17 with 8:32 left in the third quarter. And then 13 unanswered Serra points created the cushion. And now the score finds itself 41-28.
And classy move by Coach Walsh.
Yeah, not going to run up the score here.
Yeah, 2 programs, definitely 2 coaches, respect each other, and it's a nice move here, just sportsmanship. He's gonna kneel on it. Both teams have battled hard today, and there was a lot of times during the game. It's very heated, very competitive, but you'll see the kids from Serra or St. Francis picking each other up off the ground. So 2 great programs, 2 great schools.
Well, and after 4 turnovers in the first half, Serra got 2 back. A cleanly played second half. The final knee is taken as Serra stands tall here on their home field as they sink St. Francis and remain perfect in the WCL. A 4-0 start for Serra as they complete a 41-28 victory over their rivals from St. Francis.
Yeah, and you saw Coach Calgano and Cahoon were the first 2 guys to give Coach Walsh a big hug. A lot of respect for both programs for each other, and it's been a fun day. We knew it was going to be a fun and very competitive football game. A little crazy there in the first half with like 4,000 turnovers and some penalties, but yeah, and Evan, been a pleasure. Get a chance. I hear you on 95.7 The Game all the time. You're really good, and it's been a real pleasure to get to work with you today. So thanks for filling in for our main man and our MVP, Pat.
Oh, absolutely.
But Pat O'Rourke is probably nestling in and getting ready for Notre Dame USC. He's probably pretty excited right now, but yeah, a lot of fun having you out today, so thank you so much.
Absolutely, Shay. Well, it's been my pleasure. I mean, Pat reached out a couple weeks ago, opportunity I couldn't pass up. Didn't know I'd get to work with someone as knowledgeable, as energetic, and also with, as we talked about over the course of the broadcast, an emotional connection with Serra and Coach Walsh. So
yeah,
it's been awesome for you allowing me to sit in this booth with you.
Oh, man,
sincerely.
yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens here, If Pat keeps traveling, we'll just have to have you come back. I don't know.
Well, I'm 1-0 so far for the Serra fans out there watching and listening. So, no, look, I think that speaking about this game, obviously the reintroduction of Giovanni Henley was massive. A couple of big touchdowns, including the final one, had an interception as well. But you also got to give credit to St. Francis. I mean, the likes of Drew Cumbie and what he did, 4 total touchdowns, 3 through the air. I mean, this is a sophomore quarterback and a St. Francis team that, despite now being 2-2 in the WCL, they showed today they got a lot of fight.
Right. I mean, think about the 2 losses are to Reardon and Serra. Yeah. And so they were able to get it done against Mitty, and everybody's been impressed with what Mitty's been able to do this year because Mitty has come out and put a tough program together, and they're fighting and giving people problems. And so, yeah, I mean, St. Francis, you see them over there. They're celebrating with their fans, and this is a program that's going to continue to do what it's always done. It's got 20, 30 years of amazing history in this league, and so they're going to keep fighting. And pretty exciting for Coach Walsh and Serra now. They're setting up. They're not going to look past Mitty and Bellarmine, but that Friday night game with Reardon, if they take care of business, could be pretty special.
It could be for the league, and that's where right now Serra has its eyes set. After kind of a down year last year, they appear to be towards the cream of the crop, if you will, in the WCL. They move on to 4-0 after a 41-28 victory here today against St. Francis, who falls to 2-2 in the WCL. So a big thank you to everyone out there watching, listening on Bay Area Sports TV, NFHS. Fantastic broadcast today. Big shout out to our camera crew, our director, Tim Banks, and of course my broadcast partner, Stephen Shea. My name is Evan Giddings, filling in for Pat O'Rourke. He'll be back soon. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. One final time. Serra, 41. St. Francis, 28. You've been watching WCL football on Bay Area Sports TV.